Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host, Mansuri. Today, we are in New York at Pakistan's permanent mission to the United Nations, and it is my distinct privilege to host a highly esteemed diplomat, Ambassador Munir Akram, who is the permanent representative of Pakistan to the United Nations. He has had a very distinct career representing Pakistan on global stage, advocating for Pakistan's interests at various international forums. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Mansuri, for having me. Thank you so much.
So before we begin our conversation with Ambassador Munir Akram, I'd like to take a moment to watch this short video about Ambassador and about his remarkable career.
This is an exclusive presentation by the Mansuri Show on ARY Digital TV. Ambassador Munir Akram is a distinguished diplomat, a commanding presence on the global stage, and a voice that carries weight in the halls of the United Nations. With a career defined by strategic leadership and unwavering advocacy, he has played a pivotal role in shaping international discourse. Ambassador Akram assumed his current role as Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations on November 1, 2019, bringing decades of experience in diplomacy and international negotiations. This isn't his first tenure at the UN. He previously held the same prestigious position from 2002 to 2008, and before that, represented Pakistan at the UN in Geneva for 7 years. His career is a masterclass in global diplomacy. From serving as Pakistan's ambassador to the European Council, Belgium, and Luxembourg to holding leadership roles at the UN Security Council, not once, but twice, Ambassador Akram has been at the forefront of major international decisions. He has led the Economic and Social Council, chaired the Group of 77 in China, and played a key role in UN administrative reforms. His expertise spans disarmament, trade policy, and international security, making him a vital force in shaping global dialogue. A prolific writer, a sought-after speaker, and a recipient of Pakistan's prestigious Hilal-i-Quaid-e-Azam Award for his extraordinary service, Ambassador Akram is more than a diplomat, he is a statesman with a vision.
In the talk to Fulbright scholars, Ambassador Munir Akram highlighted global security and development challenges. He expressed deep concern over the grave issues currently facing the international order.
Ambassador Munir Akram shakes hands with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres as Pakistan officially assumes its non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council for a 2-year term starting January 1, 2025. Over the years, Ambassador Akram has delivered powerful speeches on some of the most pressing global issues of our time. Before we dive into our conversation, let's take a moment to reflect on some of his most impactful addresses.
In a compelling speech, Ambassador Akram described Israel's occupation and actions against Palestinians as the original sin, urging the international community to recognize and uphold Palestinian rights.
If you are equitable, if you are just, you will not blame one side and not the other. And if you were to go back to the issue of who started this, we all know who started this. It is 50 years of Israeli occupation and the murder and killing of Palestinians with impunity that started this. When you push a people into the corner, they will respond. This is what the Secretary General said. It did not happen in a vacuum. And look at the reaction that came from the Israeli representative, insulting the Secretary General, calling for his resignation. They can't face the truth. They can't face justice. They can't face the fact that the crime has originated with the Israelis. The Israeli occupation is the original sin in this case. It is not what happened on the 7th of October. That is the proximate cause. But the real cause is the occupation of Palestine. Purpose is to stop the fighting. The fact that we have reports today that the Israelis have gone on the ground into Gaza, which will escalate the fighting. It is all the more reason for this General Assembly to pass a resolution which is unequivocal in calling for a halt to the fighting, to the hostilities, and that is what we must do this afternoon. I thank you, Mr. President.
In a compelling statement at the UN Security Council reform debate on the veto, Ambassador Akram stressed that the veto's misuse weakens global security. He called for either its abolition or strict limitations, opposing any expansion of veto powers to new permanent members.
Co-chairs, the issue of the veto, which we are considering today, is central to the issue of reform of the Security Council. It is the exercise of the veto or the threat of a veto which is responsible for the frequent inability of the Security Council to act decisively in response to threats to or breaches of international peace and security. Therefore, to make the Council more effective, it is important to either abolish the veto rights of the permanent members or, failing this, to restrict its use as much as possible. In any event, it is vital not to add to the problem by enlarging the veto rights to additional states, and this is one of the principal reasons that Pakistan, the Uniting for Consensus, and many other member states have opposed the creation of new permanent members on the Security Council.
In a powerful address at the UN Security Council briefing on threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts, Ambassador Akram highlighted Islamophobia, the critical challenges posed by terrorism, and their impact on global stability.
Despite protestations to the contrary, counter-terrorism policies have so far singled out only one religion, Islam, for affiliation with terrorism and extremism. Such concepts that stigmatize Muslims have fanned the flames of Islamophobia and fueled further radicalization. Mr. President, these gaps in the UN's counter-terrorism efforts need to be addressed, and it is for this reason that Pakistan believes that the UN General Assembly should establish a subsidiary body to promote the universal consideration and balanced implementation of all four pillars of the global counterterrorism strategy, with the vital support of the United Nations Office of Counterterrorism as its executing arm.
At the UN General Assembly debate on the ICJ report, Ambassador Munir Akram condemned the ongoing foreign and colonial occupation of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Palestine, emphasizing the ICJ's vital role in upholding international law amid Security Council deadlock.
Many peoples, particularly the people of Palestine and occupied Jammu and Kashmir, continue to be subjected to foreign and colonial occupation and denied their right to self-determination. And genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity are being committed with impunity by some rogue states. In this context, and while the Security Council is virtually paralyzed by the frequent use and threat of the veto power of some permanent members of the Security Council, the ICJ has played a prominent role in upholding the principles of the UN Charter and international law.
So, Ambassador Munir Akram, I'd like to begin by asking you, you've had a very long, distinguished career representing Pakistan on some of the world's biggest diplomatic stages and at some of the most crucial turning points in the history. So what has been the most defining moment of your career at the United Nations?
I think it has been, as you said, a long career.
Yes.
And there have been many moments which are of historical importance for Pakistan, both in a positive way and sometimes in a negative way. What I recall from my times here at the UN, which stands out, first of all, what stands out is the fall of Dhaka, which was a tragedy for Pakistan, and it will always be embedded in the minds of all Pakistani diplomats. But then came, of course, the revival of Pakistan and the moment when Pakistan defeated India in a Security Council resolution, a straight one-to-one contest which we won against India in 1976. Thereafter, of course, there have been many events at the UN of historical importance for Pakistan. The release of our prisoners of war after the 1972 war, the admission of China into the United Nations, which we facilitated, the Iraq war, where Pakistan resisted an endorsement of the invasion of Iraq as a Muslim country on the Security Council. And thereafter, of course, we have had many successes, raising Kashmir 3 times in the Security Council, promoting the campaign against Islamophobia, which has now been recognized by the United Nations. These are some of the achievements or milestones in the career that I've had. But it's been a long one, and there have been many more which I probably have not mentioned.
Thank you so much. So, Ambassador Akram, Pakistan has once again secured a seat as the non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. So what are the key priorities and strategic objectives that Pakistan aims to achieve during its 2025 to 2026 tenure?
Well, first of all, Pakistan's foreign policy is based on adherence to the principles of the UN Charter, which means right of self-determination, sovereignty of states, respect for the territorial integrity of states, non-use of force. These are basic principles, and our positions on all the issues in the Security Council will be based on the Charter and international law. But apart from contributing to international legality, Pakistan, of course, has its own priorities. Jammu and Kashmir is, of course, our first priority. We have to see how our membership of the Council can be utilized to advance the case on Kashmir. We have a challenge in Afghanistan. We're dealing with Afghanistan and the relationship with our Western neighbor. We have the problem of terrorism, which we are facing from across our borders, which has to be dealt with in an effective way. And of course, we are also a very large contributor to United Nations peacekeeping, which we want to strengthen and reinforce. And these will be some of the objectives. Of course, we are at the moment in a crisis with regard to the Palestine question, Gaza, and the Middle East. And the Security Council is currently preoccupied with that. Pakistan has played a leading role in that, and we will continue to try to contribute to peace and justice for the Palestinian people.
Palestine, you've talked about Palestine at the UN, and considering the ongoing situation, the crisis in Gaza, do you feel or believe that the United Nations Security Council has failed in its role, and what new strategies can Pakistan employ to push for a peaceful resolution?
Well, first of all, I think the failure is not that of the Security Council as much as it is a failure of the member states, or at least those states which have prevented the Security Council from taking enforcement action to implement the resolutions of the Security Council and international law. The onus of blame should lie on those who have blocked this action and have supported the aggression which the Israelis have committed. We, of course, will continue to work with the Arab and the Islamic countries to try and promote a just solution for Palestine. As you know, the challenges are very high at the moment. And there is very little possibility for a quick solution, but nevertheless, Pakistan, through its membership, will continue to work with our Arab and Islamic brothers in order to promote a just and peaceful solution on the basis of what we call the two-state settlement.
You mentioned Kashmir also. So Kashmir has been a very long-standing issue at the UN. So what new diplomatic strategies can Pakistan employ to keep this issue on the global agenda and to seek a peaceful resolution?
Well, Kashmir is on the global agenda. Kashmir is on the agenda of the Security Council, has been since 1948. And also, the position of the United Nations on Kashmir totally aligns with Pakistan's position and the adherence to international law and the Charter. The Secretary General of the United Nations has stated very clearly that a solution to the issue of Jammu and Kashmir must be found on the basis of the UN Charter and the UN Security Council resolutions. And as you know, the Security Council resolutions call for a plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir in order to enable the people of Jammu and Kashmir to decide their own future.
Mr. Akram, you have spoken against Islamophobia at the UN. So what tangible steps can the international community take to combat the discrimination, the hate speech, the violence against Muslims?
Well, I think the first step was to get the recognition of the international community against the phenomena of Islamophobia. And as you know, 3 years ago, the General Assembly adopted a unanimous resolution deciding to observe the 15th of March each year as the day to combat Islamophobia. Last year, we also secured another resolution which called for a strategy to combat Islamophobia. The first step in that strategy will be the appointment of a special envoy on Islamophobia by the Secretary General of the United Nations. And after that, the second step will be an adoption of a plan of action, which we have proposed to the Secretary General. And hopefully, after the adoption of the plan of action, we will move to the stage of implementation of the plan, which will contain steps such as legal measures to protect against crimes of Islamophobia, recognition that Islamophobia constitutes an offense and should be criminalized, legal assistance to the victims of Islamophobia, education against Islamophobic beliefs and Muslim hatred. So there are several steps that we are going to secure through the United Nations and secure their implementation in order to have a campaign to combat Islamophobia.
Pakistan has been the largest contributor to the UN peacekeeping missions. Now, what reforms do you believe are needed to make these peacekeeping operations, the missions, more effective?
Well, there are several things which we need to do to make peacekeeping more effective. First of all, we have to ensure that the mandates of peacekeeping operations are effective enough to enable them to keep the peace, that the mission has the capabilities, technological capabilities, manpower capabilities, performance capabilities in order to perform these actions, and the adequate resources that will be required for peacekeeping operations. Peacekeeping still is the most cost-effective way of preserving peace and security in many conflict zones in the world, and this is an instrument that needs to be strengthened, and Pakistan is engaged in that. We are hosting a ministerial conference in April to prepare for a full ministerial in Berlin next year, And we hope that through these steps, United Nations peacekeeping will become much more effective in the future.
UN Security Council has been criticized as being ineffective due to the veto power of countries, some of the members. So do you see any reforms in the near future, and how can small nations like Pakistan navigate the system?
Our desire is to make the Security Council much more democratic and much more accountable. And this can be done if there is greater representation of the vast majority of the member states of the UN, the 193 countries, most of whom are small and medium-sized states. And these are the countries which require greater representation on the Security Council. We are facing ambitions from 4 countries which want to become permanent members of the Security Council, and we think that this will add to making the Council even less democratic. So we have opposed the efforts by India, Germany, Japan and Brazil to become permanent members. We are advocating that the expansion of the Security Council should take place only in the category of non-permanent members, elected members, in order to promote democracy and accountability of the Security Council.
So beyond the political diplomacy, how's Pakistan using its economic, cultural and technological standing to enhance its global standing?
Well, at the United Nations, a country's standing comes from its contributions to the work of the United Nations. And Pakistan has always been an active member of the United Nations. We are a leader on peace and security issues, as I mentioned, dealing with peacekeeping, Pacific resolution of disputes, adherence to the Charter. We are a leader on the economic and social issues, having served several times as the chair of the Group of 77, repeatedly as president of the Economic and Social Council. And we have also tried to promote fundamental human rights, in particular the right of self-determination of peoples, which is the foundation of the world order that exists at the present time. So Pakistan has a very active role at the United Nations. We are a prominent member of the United Nations, and I think the recognition of that was evident in the fact that we were elected to the Security Council with such a huge majority of the membership of the United Nations.
Increasing polarization between global powers, how can Pakistan position itself as a bridge between conflicting interests while safeguarding its own national interests?
I would say that our first duty is to protect our own national interests.
Of course.
And therefore, whatever we do in the Security Council or in the General Assembly, we have to do from the perspective of promoting our own interests on Kashmir, on Afghanistan, on counterterrorism, on other issues that are of direct importance to Pakistan. As for serving as a bridge, we can only serve as a bridge if the powers which are competing with each other, the great powers which are competing with each other, want to find a bridge. Mm-hmm. So they need to want to find a bridge. What we can do in the present circumstances is try to promote some confidence-building measures to lower tensions between the great powers. Mm-hmm. We can try to find ways to restrain the arms race which is taking place. We can try to find ways for a resolution of disputes, like the Palestine dispute and other disputes that we are facing, where we can contribute to try to resolve some of these conflicts. This could be the way in which Pakistan can play a prominent role on the international stage.
Ambassador Akram, you've represented Pakistan for quite a long time, and you've accomplished a lot. What are your current priorities? What are you working on that you would like to accomplish?
Well, as you may know, I will be retiring once again very soon, and I will be going back into private life. and hope to then contribute to the promotion of Pakistan's effective diplomacy through whatever writings and whatever lectures that I can provide. But my own effort will be obviously to keep my interest in contributing to the best interests of Pakistan in future, even from a private life.
So we wish you, a great retirement and all the best for that. I'd like to ask you, like you mentioned, you've had a long, very distinguished career. What has been, some of the most valuable, lessons you've learned in international diplomacy, and what advice would you like to give to the young Pakistani diplomats that are, working in the Foreign Service or about to join?
Well, my first advice would be your highest priority is your national interest, and that should trump everything else in terms of whether personal or other considerations. You have to respect yourself to gain the respect of others, and you have to think from positions of strength, of conviction and hard work as the basis to project your own point of view and your national interest. And you have to think long term, not short term. Think of the country, not of yourself.
Mr. Munir Akram, it has been a privilege speaking with you here today at the Pakistan's mission to UN in New York. Thank you so much for this insightful conversation. Wishing you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mansuri. It's a pleasure being with you.
This is all the time we have. Please keep sending us your comments, your feedback at the address on your screen. Please keep watching The Mansuri Show on ARY Digital Television Network. And please keep reading Pakistan Link and Urdu Link. Thank you so much. Till we meet again. Khuda Hafiz.
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to the Mansuri Show. Today we have a guest. It's our privilege to have a guest which is, who's really truly inspiring. She's a trailblazer in Pakistan's public service. She is a former officer of the Pakistan Air Force, and she is a key figure in international trade. She is currently serving as the Trade and Investment Counselor at the Consulate General of Pakistan in Los Angeles, and she serves a crucial role in strengthening Pakistan-US commerce relations and exploring new avenues for investment and trade. So it's our privilege to have Ms. Quratullah and Fatima.
Thank you.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Arif, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So before we begin our conversation, I would like to take a few moments and look at this short video introduction of Ms. Fatima.
Ms. Karachalain Fatima is a distinguished Pakistani public servant with over 13 years of experience in public service. She currently serves as the Trade and Investment Counselor at the Consulate General of Pakistan in Los Angeles. Previously, she served as a policy practitioner at Pakistan's Prime Minister's office. Her career began in 2001 when she became one of the first women to join the Pakistan Air Force, serving as a flight lieutenant for 8 years during the nation's war on terrorism.
I never had a fear of failure. So I have always thought, and it was kind of my dad who passed away many years ago, and he was a very conservative man, but he used to tell me, I was the eldest daughter, that you can do anything. And I literally took it like, okay, I can do anything. So when it came to the military, I was like, why are there not women in the military? Why is that and that? But in 2001, when I got commissioned in the Air Force, the admission of women to the Pakistan Air Force was open. And everybody told me, like, you can't do it, you have never stepped out of your home or whatever. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I'm not afraid to fail. I think that fear of failure is something, and it's very huge in women. We are very afraid to fail because we have been culturally told that you have to be careful about things, you can't do this. So I think that not having a fear of failure has really helped.
In 2010, she transitioned to the Pakistan Administrative Service, working extensively in rural and conflict-affected areas, focusing on gender-inclusive development and conflict prevention. Ms. Fatima holds an MBA, a Master's in International Relations from Pakistan, and a Master's in Public Policy from Oxford University. She has been recognized as an Aspen New Voices Fellow in 2018, an Oxford Global Leadership Initiative Fellow in 2016, and a Build Peace Fellow in 2017 to 18. Beyond her governmental roles, she co-founded Women for Peace Tech, a nonprofit organization empowering rural Pakistani women through access to technology. Her work has also been featured in various international publications, including Ms. Magazine, where she has written on topics such as gender-inclusive development and conflict prevention. Throughout her career, Ms. Karachalain Fatima has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to public service, gender equality, and innovative solutions to complex challenges.
It's quite impressive background. So you are one of the first women officer who joined the Pakistan Air Force. So please take us back to your early life. How was your childhood, and what inspired you to pursue such a diverse career as in Pakistan Air Force, public service, and then international trade?
Thank you so much, Akram. If I tell you that when I was growing up, I wanted to be a boy because I saw that boys could do everything. And I used to tell my dad, I wanted to be an SSG commando. And then I decided, no, I wanted to be a pilot. I couldn't be either of them at the time. So I used to tell my father, who was an Air Force officer, that, I want to wear uniform like you. I want to give salute to the parade on 23rd March with you. And he used to say, oh yes, you can do that. And I used to ask him, how can I do that when there is no opening for women? And he said that, it will happen. And interestingly enough, in 2001, it happened. The president at the time opened 33% quota for women in the Pakistan Air Force. So I took upon the opportunity, I cleared the ISSB, and I joined the Pakistan Air Force. And my dream of wearing uniform and saluting the parade alongside my father, who was in the uniform as well, came true. And I think it was I tell this to people, that when I went into the Air Force, we were the first women, me and a few others. And the military training was so tough that I wanted to run away. But I just always thought that, the burden of other women coming into and opening the way for other women is on me, and that kept me there probably. And so I survived. I spent almost 8 years in the Air Force. I participated in Pakistan's war against terrorism. I was posted in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And then I decided that it's time to switch career and contribute to peace building. And as a public servant, you can always build into peace. All the development work, all the public service work, serving the people of Pakistan, can be done in many ways. So I switched from military and I joined the civil service. And coming to trade is something that I think it's part of peace building. There is a very famous quote that if trades don't cross borders, then soldiers do. And I'm such a big believer in it. And I think trade can be one catalyst for peace and prosperity. And I was so inspired, but because Pakistan has so much potential. So when I got the opportunity, I got posted to the Consul General of Pakistan in Los Angeles. I'm working under the leadership of a very dynamic Consul General, Mr. Asim Ali Khan, who has given so many new meanings to economic diplomacy by his commitment to this cause. And that is my journey towards this, and now I'm contributing to Pakistan's trade with the West Coast, Pakistan being the biggest partner of United States being the biggest partner of Pakistan in the trade.
It's very well said. Yes, of course, United States is Pakistan's largest export market, with the exports to United States about 16% of the total export of Pakistan. So as the Trade and Investment Counselor, what initiatives and strategies are you implementing to further expand and diversify the exports of Pakistan to the United States?
Thank you for asking this, Mansuri Saab. It's a very important question. I represent the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, and we follow the vision of the Prime Minister and the government of Pakistan, that is to increase Pakistan's trade as much as possible. And the focus has been, Pakistan has been exporting textile as a very traditional product. It is one of the biggest exports of Pakistan to United States. But I must tell you that IT products are the largest and fastest growing export of Pakistan to United States. We are also exploring diversification in the market. That is the halal products, the organic products, surgical goods, especially the sports goods, which Pakistan, is famous for. We make the football for FIFA, and you know that Los Angeles will be hosting FIFA 2026 and the Olympics in 2028. So we are eyeing this as a very important market, and Sialkot Chamber of Commerce delegation visited. We interacted with the Los Angeles Mayor Office in this regard. We are planning a very big export expo in June to market Pakistan's sports products. We are also working towards Pakistan's participation in a lot of trade shows, and trade delegations are coming, and we're also sending a lot of Pakistani businessmen to Pakistan, a lot of American businessmen to Pakistan. So we do this, we do B2B connections, we make meetings. We are also trying very hard to take Starlink to Pakistan, and under the leadership of Consul General, we have done a number of meetings and try to facilitate their interaction with the government of Pakistan, and we're hoping that it come through. And we are also facilitating all the investment opportunities that are being offered by the SIFC, which is a Special Investment Facilitation Council for Pakistan. And we are encouraging people to invest in Pakistan, which is an amazing destination for investment with our policies and with the incentives that the government are offering.
Pakistan, as you mentioned, several trade shows. Pakistan attends or participates in several trade shows in United States every year. So I'd like you to please tell us about that, and also I'd like to hear your insights on Pakistan's participation in the Magic Show, which is the largest or the biggest apparel and fashion show held in Vegas twice a year, and if there are any success stories.
Oh, definitely. When I joined the Consulate in 2022, the August edition of Magic, we only had 7 companies participating in it. And now we are having the February edition of Sourcing at Magic, and 44 companies are participating. So it shows that how long a way we have come. And at the time, only 2 shows were in which exporters were participating at the West Coast. Now we have around 10 shows a year that Pakistan is participating in. We are participating. We just participated in a World Fancy Food, Winter Fancy Food exhibition in January. We are participating in the International Motor Expo. We participated in Magic's editions. We participate in Game Developers Conference, TechCrunch. We are going to participate in Black Hats. We participate in diversified shows. And when it comes to Magic, it's one of our biggest and most important show for the North America. Pakistan has been participating in Sourcing at Magic traditionally. We have been increasing our number. And the most important thing is that we have been very successful in the sustainability sector. Sustainability sector and products that are eco-friendly. For example, a denim. We have Lucky Textiles, which is a very big name in denim, and they have been successfully participating in the show. We almost generate 300 to 700 leads per show. We have, in the last show, we were able to generate almost more than $15 million business during the show, and we're expecting the same from this show. So sourcing at Magic remains our most important show, and our presence in these trade shows have been increasing day by day. And as a representative of the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan and Consulate General of Pakistan, we facilitate exporters' B2B meetings, their setup of the Pakistan Pavilion, which is getting amazing day by day by the participation of our exporters. So Magic remains a very important show, and I invite Mansuri Saab this time to cover it as well.
Absolutely, that is absolutely a great effort by the TDAP and the Commercial Council and the Consulate. So that is really, I mean, I think I would encourage all the Pakistani overseas Pakistanis to attend Magic Show, and there are several opportunities to for overseas Pakistanis. Now, the Pakistan Consulate Los Angeles recently organized a tech investment conference in Silicon Valley, where $22 million were pledged in investments. So what contributed to the success of this tech investment conference, and what do you see the future of the Pakistan tech startup in US?
I would like to say that, first of all, vision of our Council General. I think he was relentless in pursuing this, and he motivated me actually to pursue this, and we were able to get support of Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, who sponsored the show. We were able to get support of the local Pakistani American community that supported us very well. We were able to get this conference done in Stanford for the first time in Silicon Valley. It was the first ever Pakistan-focused investment conference. We were able to get dynamic 10 projects. We were, as you mentioned, $22 million were announced. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of toil. Probably you can say 1 year of hard work went into it, but we were able to get Pakistani startups from Pakistan, Pakistan Sports, Pakistan Software Export Board, IT Ministry, Ministry of Commerce, Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, US Embassy, supported Consulate in doing this, and we were able to pull this through. I think it's a very iconic and historic moment for Pakistan, because being represented in Silicon Valley, which is hub of some other countries' tech excellence, and making a place for yourself, and we attracted more than 288 investors, entrepreneurs, venture funds. You can say it has started a new era for Pakistan's IT industry.
Some of the categories of export that you also mentioned, Pakistan is very well known for textile, for surgical goods, for sporting goods, and now soon the tech. Now, are there any other unrelated and unexplored industries or sectors that the exporters from Pakistan should focus on?
When I talk about California or the West Coast, organic products have a very big market here. We also have a big market for halal products. There is a very big Muslim community from different countries, and we are collaborating with some other countries, consulates like Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, to make this happen, and we could have some collective initiative for the halal products export. Saying that, there is another very important sector, that is the sector of furniture. That is the furniture that's being made in Pakistan. It's very liked here, and we have got a lot of queries about that. And adding to that, we have queries about the tech sector, the health, engineering and manufacturing sector. And I would like to mention that Pakistan is hosting a very big health, engineering, manufacturing trade show in Pakistan in April. And I want to invite Pakistani American businessmen and American businessmen to visit it, because Pakistan is now moving up the value chain. We want to find investment and find importers for Pakistan's value-added products. So I think there is a big market for these sectors.
So where is this trade show going to be held, the one that is in April, and how can one get more information about it?
So this will be happening in Pakistan in April, and I will be sharing, there is a website for HEM, it's called HEMS, and we have shared that information on Consulate's website. You can also reach out us at our email and at the consulate, and we can give information, and we have delegates registering for this show. I would also like to mention on your show and that we are also sponsoring with the help of Trade Development Authority of Pakistan for eligible businesses ticket to Pakistan, accommodation and courtesies. So I think I would invite all eligible businesses to please visit Pakistan. We have a lot of untapped potential that you would like to tap. We have very competitive products, and please join us and look at all the trade opportunities that Pakistan has to offer.
That's an awesome opportunity for people that are serious about investing in Pakistan. Yes. So thank you for sharing that. Now, many overseas Pakistanis have saved up money and they would like to invest in Pakistan but don't know where to start. What are some of the practical and high potential areas that overseas Pakistanis can invest in?
I think I would like to mention that Pakistan has a lot of incentives for investors. I think we have one of the best policy for investors within the South Asia. We have special economic zones where you can get tax rebate, where you can get facilitation and set up your industry. We have special technology zones. We have special technology parks for tech companies. A lot of Pakistanis are investing in technology sector. A lot of Pakistanis are investing in the textile sector, in the sports sector. The sectors that have been prioritized by SIFC include mining, energy. Energy is, I think, something that Pakistanis should think about. Pakistan is facing some of the energy deficiencies, and that is a sector where investors can invest. I would although request Pakistanis to not put your money into plots and anything. Please invest in businesses. Please invest in entrepreneurial sectors, and if you need any support, we are here to support you and incentivize you and facilitate you. We deal with the consulate is very forthcoming when it comes to business visas, forthcoming in arranging meetings. We have been facilitating a lot of businesses, and we would request you, if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
I'd like to go back to my earlier question. You mentioned that there is a trade show in April.
Yeah.
Pakistan organizes several trade shows for export products. So how can overseas Pakistanis learn about these various trade shows? And what facilitation does the consulate or the government of Pakistan provide for participation in these shows?
Thank you so much. So, Bano, a few very prominent trade shows that we have is Texpo, which is a textile show. It happened in the May last year. We have Food Agro Show that is just happening at the end of February this year. And we are going to have HEM, which is a Health Engineering Manufacturing Show. So all the information is displayed on Consulate General of Pakistan Los Angeles website, our Twitter account, our Facebook account. You can email us to get information. There are very comprehensive brochures and websites developed for these shows. You can just go online, give your application, and your application will be considered by us. If you are an eligible exporter, that is, for example, if you are exporting more than $1 million out of the United States, even if you're exporting to any country, then we would be very happy to invite you to Pakistan and sponsor your ticket, accommodation at a 5-star hotel and courtesies. We also have a category B for people who are importing less than that, but we will also, there are offers of 50% air ticket, then we sponsor hotel, depends on different shows. We also offer courtesies to each and every businessman visiting Pakistan. So if you need to get any information, you can come to our website. It's updated. You can come to our Twitter account, our Facebook account. You can reach out to the trade division at Pakistan Consulate, and we will be giving you information. We also send routine emails to all the businessmen, business community, and we also I will be exhibiting information about him and other shows at the Magic as well.
So where do you see the Pakistan-US trade relations in the next 5 years, and how can the overseas Pakistanis and specifically Pakistani Americans contribute to strengthening the ties between US and Pakistan?
I think Pakistan and US have been traditionally very good trade partners, and I see that since Pakistan's economy is becoming very dynamic and we have a very big focus on trade, especially tech products, which are the biggest export of Pakistan to California and it's fastest growing. So I think it's the Pakistan's trade relation in the next 5 years will see a very diversified basket of Pakistan export than before. That would include the traditional textile, apparel, leather and footwear export and sports goods export, but also value-added products as well. And it will also include organic products, tech products. It will also include halal products certifications, and it will also I also see that we will increase our export of rice and mango to United States. Mango and rice being Pakistan's one of the best.
Absolutely.
And I would like to add that Pakistani American community, first of all, please work as much as you can to improve and to tell people about Pakistan, real Pakistan. How beautiful Pakistan is. I forgot to mention, but tourism is a very growing industry. Adventure tourism, religious tourism. We have gurdwaras. We Council General just welcomed 160 Sikh delegates and sent them to Pakistan with the mission of spreading love and awareness for Pakistan. And we also have so much to offer. And I think Pakistani American community can act as ambassadors for Pakistan here and can talk about and tell people how beautiful Pakistan, invite people to Pakistan. It's so easy now, the visa is on arrival, we are facilitating, invite people to Pakistan. Also, I would request that invest in Pakistan if you can. Give back to Pakistan if you can. I think Pakistani American community in Los Angeles and California is dynamic, it's amazing. They're doing such great work. And I think keep on doing the great work. I would love to see more Pakistani Americans in the government at the state level, so that issues that are close to your heart and close to our heart can be taken up to the highest levels.
You've provided very valuable information, and some of it you've already answered. But I'd like to ask you, what message, as the Trade and Investment Counselor of Pakistan, what message would you like to send to the community through our newspapers, Pakistan Link, Urdu Link, and our show, the Mansuri Show on ARY Digital Television?
Thank you, Mansuri Saab. I would like to say that first, Pakistan should be your priority. We should love Pakistan as a state. Governments come and go, but your loyalty should be, as Pakistani Americans, should be with America and with Pakistan as well. We would please keep supporting us. I think, as I mentioned before, that community for Pakistani American community in Los Angeles and California is one of the best. And whenever we have asked for support from them, they have always come forward. They have always supported us. And please keep supporting, please spreading the good word about your country, and invite people to come to Pakistan, invest in Pakistan, interact with us, know us. I mean, as I have seen people, when they come to Pakistan, they would come again and again and again. So just send people to Pakistan, send delegations to Pakistan, and send government delegations to Pakistan. We are here to facilitate and spread the good word about Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Quratullah and Fatima, for sharing this valuable information with us. Your journey from Pakistan Air Force to international trade is really truly inspiring, and thank you for the insights on Pakistan's trade potential as well as the investment opportunities for the overseas Pakistanis, and how the community can help support Pakistan's investment and commerce. And for our viewers, please keep watching the Mansuri Show on ARY Digital Television. I hope from today's conversation, you have a deeper understanding of Pakistan's positioning, global positioning, as well as the opportunities for the overseas Pakistanis. So please keep sending us your feedback, your comments on the address on your screen. Keep reading Pakistan Link and Urdu Link. Stay linked with Pakistan. That's all the time we have. Till we see you again. Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you.
Khuda Hafiz.
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Hello and welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host, Arif Zafar Mansuri, and we are privileged to have 4 esteemed doctors with us today. Each is very prominent professional in their respective fields. So I would begin by inviting each of my distinguished panelists to please introduce yourself. Please share your name, your field of expertise, and anything else you would like the audience to know in about a minute's time. Thank you. I would begin with you.
Thank you, Mr. Arif Mansuri Saab. My name is Dr. Yasmin Qasim, and I graduated from Dow Medical College, Karachi, Pakistan, and practicing pathology in Southern California for the last 20 years. And I'm also a president for local chapter Apna. This is my second term that elected again this January. I'm a president of Sabah Homes, an orphanage organization for boys and girls in Pakistan. I covered almost 20 years. I supported Human Development Foundation, almost 12 years, in fact. And now I'm done with Human Development Foundation. I have other things to do.
Please.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Mansuri. My name is Halima Tasneem Shahabuddin. I'm a general pediatrician. I have been practicing in Southern California for the last 30 years. And initially I was working in Fontana. For the last year or so, I have moved to work in Covina, and now I'm working more part-time. I also graduated from Dow Medical College and then moved here after I got married.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Dr. Azhar Majid. I'm a board-certified internist. I've been practicing for over 20 years here in LA County and Pomona Valley area, general internal medicine and hospital medicine, and appreciate the opportunity to be on the panel today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Arif Mansuri, thanks for having me in your show. My name is Dr. Syed Ramanuddin, and I also graduated from Dow Medical College, Karachi, Pakistan. And I have been trained in different universities in Boston and in Chicago, but my primary specialty is cancer radiology, and I do a lot of academic research work as well, which include screening of the patient and also doing the clinical trials and also for the early detection.
Thank you very much. We certainly have the leading specialists in their respective fields here. The topic of our discussion today is living well, tips for healthy life. So before we dive into our topic today, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Yasmin Qasim and her husband, Mr. Feroz Qasim, for graciously hosting this panel at their beautiful home. And also congratulations, Dr. Yasmin Qasim, for becoming the president of the local chapter of Apna. I would begin by asking you, you are a pathologist, you are a specialist in diagnosing disease. How important is regular health screening, and what are some of the tests that people often overlook?
Mr. Mansuri, the main thing for the patients is go regular checkup with their doctors because that's how they do an early detection of their health condition, monitoring their blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, heart disease, and also it's very important for the patients to tell their doctor about their family history of their any cancer, any heart disease, any diabetes, because that's how they monitor him and do the early detection of their problems. So I think it's very important for the person to go regularly and do a checkup, and they watch their diets. Nutrition is very important. Physical activity is very important. Your mental health being is very important.
Thank you so much. Dr. Halima Shahabuddin, you're a pediatrician. So with the child obesity rates on the rise, how important is the nutrition and the physical activity for a child's future health?
The both are very important, and we have seen the obesity in children rise up to 30% in US. Other countries are also following, but in America is the worst. But recently they said it has kind of plateaued, and of course it is related to the nutrition and the activity. We have seen the changes in that, the glycemic index, the high sugar content in the foods, the drinks, all sugar related drinks, sodas, and as well as the portion sizes have increased. That is making it harder to lose weight or not gain weight as much, as well as the advent of the social media or the electronic gadgets that have decreased the physical activity. I would say even now you see with the Amazon, you don't even have to go there. They bring it to your house. So all those things are making it harder and harder for the kids to lose weight or not gain weight as much. And then they also do not, and also it's because of the new construction, it's not very friendly for walking or go play outside for the kids. So that is all contributing to that. And then also decreasing the family time with the dinner at, both parents are busy, or all the parents are busy with their own phones and social media. So I think that is making and decreasing the home cooked meals, because it's very easy now with the foods that you can buy.
Of course, yeah.
And so I think these are the things and then that's affecting them. But also, I don't want to sound like too pessimistic. The newer generation, they are trying to breastfeed, which is a very good sign. Before it was, it was like a taboo to do that. Now it's like the pendulum is going the other side. It's like they don't even want to supplement at all, which is good. And I think everybody's here is a grandparent. Like you have seen your grandkids, right? the parents are doing, which is a good sign.
Thank you. Dr. Sarmajit, you are an internist. I'd like to ask you, in your experience, what are some of the lifestyle mistakes that adults make that negatively impact their health, and how can they correct these lifestyle mistakes?
It's a great question, and a couple have been highlighted earlier. I think one of the big ones is the sedentary lifestyle. I think poor diet choices. I think chronic stress, not paying attention to enough sleep, your mental health. Obviously, we know about factors of smoking and alcohol intake. We know about preventative medicine and making sure that adequate checkup is. But honestly, Mr. Mansuri, I think you're absolutely right. I think these are a long-term game. You know, I think people need to make the right choices. They need to get up and move. They need to make the diet choices, not just at age 40, not just at age 50, but it's a long game. And I think adding these things, I love the point about the reliance on technology. You know, nobody's walking anymore. The kids don't go out to play anymore. Great point, you know. And a lot of times you'll find as adults, we don't go to the doctor unless we have milestones. Oh, you know, I got married in my 20s and 30s. Let me go to the doctor. Or I turned 40 or 50. But we should be going for our annual checkups and things like that.
Thank you. Dr. Syed Rahmanuddin, you are radiologist and you're are expert in cancer research. And so I'd like to ask you, how can individuals lower their risk of cancer by lifestyle change or taking preventive measures? What can somebody do to lower their risk of cancer?
So Mansuri, of course, these days we have a lot of technology. It's a technology world these days. What we are looking now, technology should augment our decision. So basically lifestyle, as the other respected doctors, they mentioned, and stress is the biggest thing, which basically induce so many things. With the stress, you can be a heart patient, you can be a mental problem, you can have so many diseases. And I think the regular checkup is important. But if you talk about from my area of specialty, which is radiology, so there are a lot of things can be prevented. So in order to be kind of like a awareness program, which means if someone has a heart problem, if there is a history, they can go and do the cardiac calcium scoring. And calcium scoring, actually, it helps a lot. It tells you exactly if you have any problem or not. And also these days, the whole body MRI scan is getting actually a lot of attention, that kind of another preventive technology, and actually the awareness kind of thing. And as Dr. Yasmin mentioned, mammogram is another area which basically we recommend after 35, and a lot of actually people. So basically the prevention is, early detection is the key. If we can educate the people, and if we can get them directly interact with their primary care physician and they recommend what exam they need to do, they should do it for the virtual colonoscopy. I know people, they are worried about going to GI doctors. It's a very painful invasive procedure. But with the new technology, we simply can get the scan done, like a CT, and you can get like a 2.22 millimeter thick polyp easily. So basically, screening is key, which we need to do based on the respective diseases.
Thank you so much. So back to you, Dr. Yasmin Qasim. How can people better understand and act upon the diagnostic results to proactively manage their health?
According to the United States Health Services and agency, they recommend that 30 minutes or 20 minutes of physical activity every day. And that activity, you can do walking, you can do dancing, you can do swimming, but physical activity is very important to, for your health. The other thing is nutrition. You eat better, low cholesterol, junk food kam khaएं बच्चे भी और बड़े भी. And I mean, I'm just
I won't get
come
to
back
eat at
into
all.
yeah.
Okay.
So first thing is physical activity. The second thing, you watch your nutrition, what you're eating, your carbs and everything. And the third thing is mental health. Mental health is very important. You don't need to stress out with your stuff. Relax, have 6 to 7 hours or 6 to 8 hours regular sleep, which will provide you energy to work the next day. The other thing is you can do yoga to relax yourself, but you have to be relaxed and mentally able to perform your duties next day. So don't stress out. So I think the main emphasis
don't
you have
overdo
to
it.
do is nutrition. Watch your diet, what you're eating, your physical activity, your mental health. If you take care of these things, you will be living healthy. Keep following up your stuff. As I said, mammogram important. There is a FIT test, is a test that fecal immunological test, which is non-invasive, that diagnose your occult blood in your stool, and early detection of colon cancer. You need to do fit tests, you do your pap smears regularly. They recommend the girls in the age of 20, starting 21, sexually active, they should do their pap smears to rule out cervical carcinoma.
So how often or at what age one should start getting very regular screenings done, and how often do you're supposed to get the A1C, cholesterol, and other tests?
Every 3 months you do hemoglobin A1C to see what your blood sugar level is, or how your blood sugar is doing. It's very important. And for cholesterol also, you have to do every 3 months. If you do your regular doctor visit with these checkups, you will be a healthy human being. Otherwise, and if you don't pay attention to what you're eating, what your physical activity, like sitting in front of the computer, like Dr. Shahabuddin was saying, that the kids nowadays just sit in front of the computer and working, no physical activity. They don't go out, they don't play, they don't do any
Yeah, you had a lot of activity back then because there was not the technology that we have today. So yes, technology is good, and also it has these side effects as well. And thank you so much. Dr. Shahabuddin, I would like to ask you what the parents should focus on, some of the key factors the parents should focus on to ensure that their kids grow up healthy, not only physically but also mentally.
Like Dr. Qasim was saying that, regular checkups. In pediatrics too, we do have regular checkups. Usually it's annually after 2 years of age. And the American Academy of Pediatrics has the cholesterol screening between 9 to 11 years of age and after 17 years of age. And we usually do not do the hemoglobin A1C or all those detailed tests unless because of the childhood obesity, we have started doing that. We usually do it as needed, but not regularly. If the child is overweight, then we go ahead and do it. Otherwise, we don't do it. And then, of course, more family centered living conditions. The parents are busy, we know that, but then have the time in the evening. At least one meal should be with the whole family, and also to see how the kids are doing in school, because that also affects their mental health. And with the bullying going on, you don't even know what is happening with the social media until that affects their mental health, which also can make their symptoms worse. And of course, the physical activity that you have to do. The AAP says 60 minutes every day, and like Dr. Qasim was saying, any activity that the kids like to do, go ahead and try to do those things, and then try to avoid fast food as much as you can. I know it's hard with the economy, the way things are. It's not easy. Everybody, and because both parents are working, and then they come home in the evening, everyone is tired and they just want to go through. But it is hard, but it is doable. And also try to avoid the phone use of phone in the evening after 6 o'clock, because that affects their sleep pattern for the kids. So instead of having them on the phone or the TV, have them read a book. That will help them come.
Dr. Azhar Majid, what are some of the simple dietary changes one can make to improve their immune system and resilience and overall health?
So excellent question. You probably need a whole program just for dietary. But I think this resurgence of back to basics, cutting out processed food. If all of us look in our pantry, natural stuff, natural fruits, vegetables on the counter, And you're absolutely right. Today's world, everybody is working, kids are going to school. We're trying to get the pre-made stuff, the protein bars, this, that, but we're not taking in enough. So remember your plate as a whole. The more colorful it is, the healthier it is for you. Okay? So you want to see a lot of color on your food plate, fruits, vegetables, things like that. But I think all of the things said by the panelists all incorporate that. You know, the kids come back from school, you're absolutely right. They're hooked on their phones and computers, you know, they're not out with their activity. On top of that, in order for transportation and comfort, we're relying too much on processed foods, you know, and the kids don't take their lunch anymore to school sometimes, you know, everyone is doing this. It's such a broad question, but I think the essence of it is, Mr. Mansuri, is simplify your diet in moderation with natural stuff. Get rid of the processed foods. Are you eating your daily allotment of fruits and vegetables? Lean proteins, right? Hydration. You know, I'll give you a simple example. In one of my patients, diabetic and a heavy overweight patient, you know, we analyzed his diet. He was drinking 1 to 2 cans of Coca-Cola a day. 1 to 2 cans. Lunch, he works, a big company. I told him to do the math with me. We stopped 2 cans of soda a day, 90 grams of sugar a day, almost 400 calories decreased. The gentleman lost 1.5 pounds a week, Mr. Mansuri, and you can do the math.
That is incredible.
Just from
such a simple.
Your question of diet is of utmost importance. So, thank you.
Oh, very good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Dr. Syed Rahmanuddin, I would like to ask you, what are some of the recent advancements in cancer research that are very exciting as far as the prevention or detection of cancer?
So it's a good question. I definitely wanted to start with the pharmaceutical companies. They are investing billions of dollars. They are doing so many clinical trials. And when you talk about the therapy, and then we talk about the innovation. So mostly innovation these days, what we are doing is based on immunotherapy. Still, we are facing a lot of challenges on immunotherapy. But AI is taking a lead on a lot of these things. What AI is doing, AI is not replacing, again, let me repeat it, AI augmenting our physicians. AI giving us a tool, which means if we use the AI like in our common routine practice, then we cannot miss the disease. The problem with the cancer, the problem with the disease, if we miss it, we miss it. When the patient comes, like Dr. Majid is in the clinic, he doesn't have much time, you know. When the patient comes, the next time the patient is going to come after 3 or 4 months. And then he has tons of patients. So we just wanted to make sure patient recover everything. So AI is actually, what it's doing is actually gathering all the data, consolidating all the information. This is what is happening in radiology too. When we finish the scan, for each person, it takes like a regular exam, like 20 minutes to read. But what AI is doing, you just simply, and in fact, the Elon Musk, he just started the same technology. And we have several other folks, actually, they are working on it. So simply patient come and we just upload the images and the system will read the entire scan. And exactly the similar thing, what is happening now when we get the report, it tells us exactly how much, where the problem is. Let's say for the smoking and for the lung cancer screening. These things very important these days. You know, we live in a world where we eat a lot of junk food. We have a lot of exposure, which is the radiation exposure everywhere. So what we need, in fact, we need to make sure when we are doing a lung cancer screening or we are doing a smoking cessation, we just simply go and check actually if there is any chances or if there is any family history.
Thank you so much. Dr. Azamjit.
Excellent points by all the panelists, and I think we've covered a whole range of things. But if I would, to answer your question as the takeaway, and I would say it's let's get rid of the sedentary lifestyle. I think people need to get up and move a little bit. I'm not advocating everyone to go run marathons, but I think, you know, Dr. Halima mentioned it and the other panelists, you know, we're just not getting up and moving. And, you know, recently studies have shown that those people in the middle age or younger age who aren't as moving, their long-term effects post age 65 are severe arthritis, hip and knee issues, and it's all because of movement. If you look at some of the people well into their 90s and who have the least amount of, for example, orthopedic or other issues, the number one key factor in all those people was mobility. They were walking all the time. And I think that is very simple. Mental health, I want to applaud Doctor for mentioning that, because I think it's on a back burner too. But I would say, as the new, we've all heard it and seen the poster, sitting is the new smoking. You've heard that, right? And I think that is really key. Even if it's just something simple, whether it be going out in your backyard, doing something. Hey, I tell my patients, can you even walk to your mailbox? And they'll tell me, I don't even walk to the mailbox. Get off, the couch, and let's do that. Everyone can do it at any age. In fact, recently I read something so interesting. There was a study in England. They showed people who had never exercised in over 25 or 50 years. They've never moved except for getting up, right? It takes them just a few months of simple steps and they can drastically improve movement. So it's never too late to get up and move. That would be my thing.
That's really good. That's good advice. Thank you so much. Dr. Halima Shahabuddin.
I'm a pediatrician, so the one thing that I would definitely want to go ahead and increase is the vaccine hesitancy. It's a new thing that has been going on, and it's the new parents, they don't want to get their kids vaccinated. And the reason, I think, is because those young parents, they have not seen the diseases, because we were so good at giving the vaccines and their parents were so good at getting them vaccinated. They have not seen the disease. So if you don't see it, they don't want to get it done. And so we have to plead to them to get, because those diseases are really scary and life-changing diseases like polio and hepatitis and tetanus and all that. So we have to plead with them to at least get one vaccine, one at a time, because I think there was in the social media thing that one time it causes autism with the measles vaccine. So that just snowballed into all the vaccines not being, the parents are not, now they don't want to get any other vaccines. But so now you have seen the measles outbreak that you read, that when they go from outside and they bring it, and they rely on herd immunity and all that, but that's not going to last forever. It's going to change. So yes, definitely, if however they want to go ahead and do it, go ahead and get started, because you don't want those bad diseases for your kids.
Thank you so much. Dr. Qasim.
Well, Mr. Mansuri, I think I can sum up all of these physician recommendations, that for doing all this thing, the person has to go regularly for your doctor checkup, because they think, oh, I'm fine, I don't need to do anything. Mm-hmm. No, you're fine, but still you need to go doctor and check up regularly to see what problem you have, blood sugar, cholesterol, heart disease, diabetes, thyroid problems, whatever. So my recommendation to every person is to regularly go for your doctor visit. Don't say, no, I'm perfectly fine, I don't need to see any doctor. Mm-hmm. It's not like that. You have to see a doctor just because to get all done. All these tests and all the physicians are here to help them out, whatever their diagnostic test shows. So my recommendation, go to your doctor for your regular checkup.
Thank you so much. I would really like to thank you all for joining us today for this insightful discussion on living well, tips for a healthy life. And I would really like to express my deepest gratitude for my distinguished panelists for sharing their expertise and valuable advice with us. For my viewers, I would like to say that, small steps but consistent steps towards a healthier life can make a big impact, whether it's healthy nutrition, activity, or regular screening. Please prioritize your health. Thank you so much for watching the Mansuri Show. Please keep sending us your feedback at the address on your screen. That's all the time we have. Till the next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, and be well. Khuda Hafiz.
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host, Arif Zafar Mansuri, and we have a great episode for you today. आज की एपिसोड के 2 हिस्से हैं. पहले हिस्से में हम आपको ले चलेंगे बर्कले, कैलिफोर्निया, जहां पे हमारी मुलाकात चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ सिंध जनाब सैयद मुराद अली शाह साहब से हुई और उस मौके पे उन्होंने हमें एक खुसूसी इंटरव्यू इनायत फरमाया. और उसके बाद हम आपको ले चलेंगे स्टैनफोर्ड, कैलिफोर्निया, जहाँ पे के पाक यूएस टेक इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉन्फ्रेंस का इनकाद हुआ, जिसका इफ्तिताह एम्बेसडर ऑफ पाकिस्तान टू यूनाइटेड स्टेट जनाब रिजवान सईद शेख साहब ने फरमाया. तो आइए पहले ये इंटरव्यू चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ सिंध जनाब सैयद मुराद अली शाह साहब के साथ मुलाहिजा फरमाइए. अस्सलाम वालेकुम. We are very fortunate today to have the chief minister of Sindh, Mr. Murad Ali Shah with us today. He is visiting Bay Area. He is leading a delegation to foster a collaboration between design school at the Stanford and the Institute of Business Administration in Karachi. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to our program today.
Thank you very much for having me.
He's the patron of IBA, the Institute of Business Administration in Karachi. He's led a delegation and they have formed a collaboration between the design school at Stanford and Institute of Business Administration in Karachi to establish design institute in a public university. So I would like to just briefly, he's been the Chief Minister of Sindh for, this is his 3rd term. He is a graduate of Kennedy Engineering University, Karachi. He also holds 2 master's degrees from Stanford. He's has worked for national and international companies in Pakistan and abroad. He has tremendous experience in business and finance. He's served in many positions that are related to engineering and finance. In 2002, he got involved with the politics, and then in 2016, he became the Chief Minister of Sindh. We're very fortunate to have him with us today. So I will like to begin by asking you that being an alumnus of Stanford, how does it feel to be back in Bay Area for this collaboration between IBA and the design school at Stanford, and what is the significance of this collaboration for Sindh, for Pakistan?
Thank you very much for having me here today. Mansuri Sahab, a couple of months ago, the executive director of IBA Karachi came over and said that they were doing this event and they had spoken to the Stanford University Design School, which is a fairly new concept, though. I visited the design school this morning. They've been doing this since 1962. That's when they and the first course is at the design school, but as a department or as a degree awarding institute, they started much later in 2006. So it's a fairly new concept, and they've been very successful, and it's one of the leading schools right now at Stanford University. When Dr. Akbar Zaidi, the executive of Karachi, came and said that they were collaborating with Stanford, it was something that I was really interested in, and I told them that they'll have the complete support of the government of Sindh in this, and my personal support also as being an alum of Stanford University. I was very excited to have Stanford come to Karachi, one of the leading business schools in Pakistan, and a public school owned by the government of Sindh. And what we're hoping out of this is that not only would the faculty and the students of IBA benefit, but this would be transferred and transmitted to the other public schools in the province of Sindh to get this experience of attending courses at Stanford without actually spending the money to go there. So really excited about it, and looking forward to a successful story.
That is a really achievement of a very great milestone to establish a design thinking lab in Pakistan. So what do you think will be the impact of this design thinking lab on the education and innovation in the public sector in Sindh and in Pakistan?
You know, teaching, when we were studying and our teachers were teaching us, unfortunately in Pakistan the teaching methods have not changed over years. And now, especially with AI coming in, students may not even need teachers going forward. They learn everything from machines. And that's not a very sort of welcome thing to look towards. And that is why this design school, the concept here at Stanford, where they teach you actually identify problems and then do problem solving. What I learned at the design school this morning when I went to visit there is that generally what they teach us in school is problem solving without assessing if that problem exists in that society or not. So the age-old teaching methods which we're still following in Pakistan, this would try and change that.
How's the Sindh government planning to support this design lab in terms of resources, policy framework, and funding to ensure the sustainability of this initiative?
IBA is a public sector school. It's sort of under the patronage of the government of Sindh, and the funding is provided. Most of the funding is provided by the government of Sindh for it. What we have promised IBA is that they need to raise certain funds in order for this program to be successful. And what we promised IBA is that the government of Sindh is going to match, or not match actually, we're going to put in 50 cents for every dollar that they raise for this initiative. And hopefully with the support from the government of Sindh, they'll be able to raise the finances to make this program successful.
So what is your plan to engage the private sector and industry leaders to collaborate with the design lab, and how can this initiative help bridge the gap between the industry and the public sector?
That's a very good question. The problem that we have in Pakistan is that the industry and our education institutions have not been working together. For example, whatever the industry requires, that is not being transmitted to the universities, and that is why we've got a mismatch. We've got a different skill set of graduates or students coming out who are not able to find proper jobs in the market because they're not that skill set has not been developed. And what we plan to do with this design school is that IBA has already talked to most of the blue chip companies in the province of Sindh and Karachi especially, and invited them over so that they can send their employees to the design school, and there'd be two-way learning process. When their employees come to the design school, they would actually the bridge between the industry and the academia would be filled up.
So, Mr. Chief Minister, what message would you like to send out to the students, the faculty, the alumni of IBA, how they can really benefit from this opportunity in innovation and design thinking?
The very purpose of doing this collaboration is, as we all know, in the 50s, the IBA was actually established when the University of Pennsylvania supported it at that time in the 50s, when professors from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania came over and developed the curriculum for the Institute of Business Administration. And this collaboration back in the 50s paid dividends, and IBA very quickly became the leading business school in Pakistan, which still is. But now going into the future, where the major issue is designing your curriculum, designing your student in such a way that he becomes profitable and he becomes economically beneficial both for himself and for the country. That we believe that with the Stanford Design School coming in and this new concept of designing the life of a student in the future, that will go a long way, and this will hopefully, what we did in the 50s has paid dividends, but now we need to not only think out of the box, but actually break that box and come up with new initiatives.
As a political leader and an engineer, how do you balance the demands of governance with promoting innovation and modern educational practices, especially in a province with diverse developmental needs like Sindh?
Problem has been, and that's not only the province of Sindh, but the entire country. Unfortunately, we've not been able to expand our resource base. Education is expensive, research is expensive, and you can't have good education without good research. And what we've been doing over time is that we've not spent enough on research, and that's why we've not been able to produce good teachers for the next generation. So what the government of Sindh is doing right now is, and what we've done is, for example, we've just started a new program where we're going to, for the first year, train 10,000 students, and these are students who could not get into a medical college or an engineering college, but they tried, and they, instead of wasting them, give them a certain skill set. And what we're doing is we have 3 universities in the province, one in Karachi, one in Hyderabad, and one in Sakkar, so the entire province is covered, to give the skill set to the new students. At the same time, what we need is to set up good research institutes which take the lead and have more collaboration with the industry, so that we can match the skill set, the requirement of the industry is matched by the universities, and the government of Sindh is working on these initiatives.
Mr. Shah, on behalf of the Pakistan link, I'd like to thank you. You have been, kind over the years to our publication in America, and I'd like to just ask you what your experience has been with the newspapers, Pakistan link.
When I was here, I used to look forward to, and that time, and I'm talking about 30 years ago.
Yes.
And I remember very vividly, Sheikh Mohtama Benazir Bhutto once gave an interview to Pakistan, lekin I was present.
Absolutely.
With her.
Absolutely.
And so it's a great service that you're doing to the community here, bringing back Pakistan to them and opening up Pakistan to the community here, so that if they want to pay back to the country, if they want to support the country, they can do it. And Pakistan Link over the years has been very, very, it's been instrumental in keeping that link, the very name of your publication, link back with Pakistan, to the diaspora here in the US.
Well, thank you so much, sir, and we wish you all the best and great success in your initiative.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Today we are at the Pak US Tech Conference in Stanford, California. Pakistan is rapidly becoming a hub of IT and IT ecosystem outsourcing. ये आज की जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है ये इसी हवाले से है. यहाँ पर जो पाकिस्तान में IT इंडस्ट्री है उसको सिलिकॉन वैली की IT इंडस्ट्री से कनेक्ट करने के लिए ये एक कॉन्फ्रेंस मुनक़्क़द की गई है और हम आज आपको इस कॉन्फ्रेंस की कवरेज दिखाएंगे. आइए हमारी ये रिपोर्ट मुलाहिज़ा फरमाइए.
कैलिफोर्निया में वाक़या स्टैनफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी में मुनक़्क़द होने वाली पाक यूएस टेक इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉन्फ्रेंस का इफ्तिताह अमेरिका में पाकिस्तान के सफ़ीर मोहतरम रिजवान सईद शेख ने किया. लॉस एंजलिस में पाकिस्तान के कौंसलेट जनरल के ज़ेर एहतमाम इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में पाकिस्तानी नजाद अमरीकी कारोबारी अफराद की क़ियादत में अमरीकी कंपनियों ने $20 मिलियन से ज़ायद की इब्तिदाई सरमायाकारी का ऐलान किया. इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को वज़ारत IT, पाकिस्तान सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट बोर्ड और दीगर इदारों की मुआवनत हासिल थी. इस कॉन्फ्रेंस की निज़ामत के फ़राइज़ काउंसिल जनरल ऑफ पाकिस्तान लॉस एंजलिस मोहतरम असम अली खान ने बखूबी अंजाम दिए. पाकिस्तान की वज़ीर ममलकत बराए IT मोहतरमा शाज़ा फातिमा ख्वाजा ने हुकूमत की जानिब से IT सेक्टर के फ़रोग़ और $25 बिलियन के बरामदी हदफ पर रोशनी डाली. एम्बेसडर रिजवान शेख ने पाकिस्तान को टेक इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए एक पुरकशिश और कम लागत मार्केट करार दिया. कॉन्फ्रेंस में पाकिस्तानी स्टार्टअप्स, जदीद IT इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और अमरीकी कारोबारी शराकतदारों की दिलचस्पी को उजागर किया गया. इख्तिताम पर मोहतरम सफ़ीर ने डिजिटल ट्रिनिटी की तजवीज़ पेश की जिसमें अमरीकी टेक्नोलॉजी, सऊदी सरमायाकारी और पाकिस्तान की अफरादी क़ुव्वत के इश्तिराक पर जोर दिया गया. इस मौके पर हमने कॉन्फ्रेंस के कुछ मुकर्ररीन और शुरका के ख़यालात रिकॉर्ड किए हैं. आइए ये रिपोर्ट मुलाहज़ा फरमाइए.
मेरे साथ इस वक्त पाकिस्तान के सफ़ीर मोहतरम रिजवान सईद शेख साहब मौजूद हैं. मैं आपसे मालूम करना चाहूँगा कि आपकी आज जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है ये नहायत कामयाब कॉन्फ्रेंस है. मैं मालूम करना चाहूँगा कि जो इन्वेस्टर्स पाकिस्तान में IT में या IT इकोसिस्टम में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं आप उनके लिए क्या इंसेंटिव्स जो हैं वो ऑफ़र कर रहे हैं कि जो उनको उसमें अट्रैक्ट करें.
देखिए आपने देखा कि यहाँ पे बाकायदा प्रोजेक्ट्स जो है वो पेश किए गए हैं. सिर्फ पैनल या सिर्फ तकरीरें नहीं हुई, सिर्फ तबलीग नहीं की गई बल्कि बाकायदा प्रोजेक्ट्स सामने लाए गए हैं. तो ये जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं इनके ज़रिए पाकिस्तान की IT के अंदर IT के शोबे में जो सलाहियत है वो उसकी अक्कासी होती है. तो इस पे आपने देखा कि अभी तक जो है वो सिर्फ एक जो कंपनी है उनकी जानिब से अगले 1 साल के अंदर $12 मिलियन की सरमायाकारी की बात हो चुकी है. तो ये तो हो चुका है अभी और अभी वक्त बाकी है और प्रोजेक्ट्स भी अभी प्रेजेंट किए जाएंगे. तो ये हमारे ख़्याल में तो एक न सिर्फ अच्छी इब्तदा है बल्कि अभी हम कह सकते हैं कि इंशाअल्लाह एक कामयाब इब्तदा है और पाकिस्तान बहुत कुछ दे रहा है इस शोबे में. हमारे यहाँ स्पेशल टेक्नोलॉजी जोन्स बन रहे हैं. हमारी एक नौजवान जो है वो आबादी है जिसमें औसत उम्र जो है वो 22 साल. तो हमारा बहुत बड़ा मुस्तकबिल इससे वाबस्ता है और ये एक ऐसा फल है जिसे बहुत जल्द बहुत कम वक्त में हासिल किया जा सकता है और पाकिस्तान मुस्तकबिल के लिहाज से एक ऐसा मुल्क बन सकता है जो आने वाली नॉलेज इंटेंसिव सोसाइटी जिसे कहते हैं कि एक इल्मी मुआशरा होगा उसके अंदर अपना दुरुस्त, अपना सही और अपना जो जिसका हमें हक़ है हासिल करने का वो मकाम हम हासिल कर पाएंगे.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. थैंक यू. मिस्टर आसिम अली खान साहब विद मी. आप आज की जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है उसके बारे में हमसे कुछ आपकी जो ओपिनियन है वो प्लीज़ शेयर कीजिए.
जी थैंक यू आरिफ साहब ये हुकूमत पाकिस्तान की तरफ से पहला इनिशिएटिव है सिलिकॉन वैली में. आपको पता है सिलिकॉन वैली दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन का एक सेंटर है اور ہم بہت عرصے سے کوشش کر رہے تھے کہ ایک سسٹینیبل ایک اسٹرانگ لنکیج اسٹیبلش کیا جائے پاکستان کی ٹیک انڈسٹری اور سلیکن ویلی کے درمیان. تو الحمدللہ آج یہ آپ نے دیکھا ہے کہ ہم نے اس کا آغاز کر دیا. حکومت کی جو معاشی پالیسی ہے اس میں ڈائسپورا کو بہت بڑی اہمیت حاصل ہے. پاکستانی امریکن کمیونٹی میں جو ٹیک کمیونٹی ہے ہمیں ان سے بہت ساری امیدیں وابستہ ہیں کہ وہ ایک بہت اسٹرانگ برج کا کام کریں گے پاکستان اور امریکہ کے درمیان. اور آج آپ نے دیکھا ہے کہ بہت بڑی تعداد میں بہت ہی اکمپلشڈ نہ صرف انٹرپرنرز، انویسٹرز اور ٹیک پروفیشنلز یہاں موجود ہیں. اور اس کانفرنس کا مقصد یہ ہے کہ اب باتوں سے آگے بڑھ کے عمل کی طرف جایا جائے. اور آج آپ نے دیکھا کہ لوگوں نے شروع کے جو پروجیکٹس ہیں اس میں نہ صرف پاکستان میں انویسٹمنٹ پلیج کی ہے اور اپنے انیشیٹیوز اور اپنے جو ہے پاکستان میں پلانس. اور آپ نے ایک بڑی امپورٹنٹ چیز نوٹ کی ہوگی کہ ایک مثبت فضا ہے، پازیٹیوٹی ہے. لوگ پاکستان کی اہمیت کو سمجھتے ہیں اور ہم نے نیگیٹیوٹی کو ڈسپیل کرنے کی بہت کوشش کی ہے. اور الحمدللہ آپ نے دیکھا بہت سارے لوگ پر امید ہیں. اور آپ نے ایک اور اہم چیز نوٹ کی ہوگی کہ پاکستان کی جو آئی ٹی انڈسٹری میں را ٹیلنٹ ہے اس کو پالش کر کے ہم بہت جلدی گورنمنٹ کے جو آئی ٹی ایکسپورٹس کے ٹارگٹس ہیں $20 بلین ان نیکسٹ 7 ایئرس اس کو پورا کر سکتے ہیں. اور یہ کانفرنسز ہم امریکہ کے مختلف کارنرز میں کرتے رہیں گے تاکہ پاکستان کی نہ صرف آئی ٹی کی برآمدات میں اضافہ ہو، جاب کریشن ہو، پاکستان کی معیشت کو سہارا ملے، بلکہ ڈائسپورا کو بھی ایک اونرشپ ملے کہ ان کا پاکستان سے ایک اسٹرانگ تعلق ہے، ایک اسٹیک ہے. اور یہ تعلق میوچولی بینیفیشل ہوگا جس میں نہ صرف ہماری یہاں ٹیک کمیونٹی اور پاکستان کی ٹیک انڈسٹری کو فائدہ ہوگا بلکہ پاکستان امریکہ کے تعلقات میں بھی بہت مثبت تبدیلی آئے گی اور بہت مضبوط ہوں گے.
I think this conference was really needed because there were a lot of people who still have this fear that Pakistan doesn't have the talent to provide the back office or IT support and all that. I am a witness myself for using the back office for 2 years in Pakistan and finding excellent people there, and they really know how to do it. They actually are doing as good or even better job than my employees who are hired in America at 1/6 the cost. So let's say if it costs me $6,000 a month of a person here in America, it costs me $1,000 per person in Pakistan. And we already have 150 employees working for Kaaba Fusion through the company that we are using. But next is developing their pharmacy software. And there are about 40-45 employees that we'll be hiring just to develop the software, inshallah. And I haven't been back to Pakistan for 40 years, but I think that now with Masood Khan Saab, the previous ambassador, and CG Saab here, Asim in the West Coast, I'm very interested in growing in Pakistan and expanding the operation.
Well, actually, there's no question in my mind کہ جو ابھی اس ٹرین پہ نہیں بیٹھا نا، جو نیشن، when I'm talking about the train, I'm talking about the train of AI, talking about blockchain technology, cyber security, and very, very importantly, robotics. It's اتنا critical ہے اس وقت دنیا میں اس ٹرین پہ بیٹھنے کا کہ جو ملک نہیں بیٹھے گا اس ٹرین میں they will get left behind. And this will touch every aspect of your lives, right? From agriculture to machineries to building cars, education, and very, very importantly, at least for me in my field, medicine. So all of this is going to be affected by technology, particularly when it comes to AI and particularly to robotics. And then in the very, very near future, quantum computing. So سب چیزیں ہم لوگ ہمارے ملک کو تیار رہنا ہے.
اس کانفرنس کا جو مین مقصد ہے وہ یہ ہے کہ کسی طرح سے یو ایس کے اندر جو ڈائسپورا موجود ہے اس کو پاکستان کے اندر انگیج کیا جائے مور اسٹارٹ اپس کے اندر، اور کسی طرح سے جو بھی ان کو کوئی ہیلپ چاہیے ہو پاکستان میں ایکسپینڈ کرنے کے لیے، چاہے وہ فنڈ ریزنگ کی ہیلپ ہو، چاہے کوئی گورنمنٹ ریگولیشنس کے ساتھ پرابلم، کچھ بھی ہیلپ ہو، ہم یہ چاہتے ہیں کہ ہماری ایمبیسی اور ہمارے کونسلیٹ جنرل جو ہیں ان کی ہیلپ کریں. سیکنڈ ہمارا مقصد یہ ہے کہ ہم ایک پاکستان، سعودی عربیہ اور یو ایس اے کے درمیان میں ایک ٹیکنالوجی ٹرینٹی کریٹ کرنے کی کوشش کر رہے ہیں تاکہ کیپٹل آئے سعودی عربیہ سے، ٹیم پاکستان سے، اور لیڈرشپ آئے ڈائسپورا جو ہمارا ہے. ان تینوں کو مل کے ہم سعودی عرب میں کمپنیاں کریٹ کریں جو کہ سعودی عرب کا بھی بھلا کریں، پاکستان کا بھی بھلا کریں اور امریکہ کا بھی بھلا کریں.
پاکستان میں گڈ ویلیو ہے
अच्छे लोग हैं, ऑनेस्ट लोग हैं, और सबसे बड़ी बात कि उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी कभी नहीं मिले मेरे लिहाज से। अब जैसी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है वो अपॉर्चुनिटी वीज़े के शेप में आती है, और फिर वो वीज़ा पकड़ते और फिर भागते हैं। और जाहिर बात है मैं भी भाग जाता, अगर मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिली तो मुझे भी वीज़ा लेके बाद उनको मैं चाहता हूँ कि यार चलो तुम लोग तो सब तो लाखों के तादाद से, सैकड़ों के तादाद से अमेरिका तो नहीं आ सकते, और क्यों आए भाई आप लोग, हम लोग वहाँ क्यों ना अपॉर्चुनिटी लेके आए, वहाँ तो सप्लाई है टैलेंट की, वहाँ सप्लाई लोगों की, और क्यों मैं ये बार्गेन शॉपिंग करूं, अगर है पैसा, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आ रहा है पैसा। एआई की कंपनीज आजकल, इनसे बड़ी रिच कंपनी तो दुनिया में नहीं पैदा हुई है जितनी पैसे एआई पे आ रही है। आप देख लें दुनिया में, न्यूज़ में हर जगह छाई भी है। अगर ये इतनी इनकम आ रही है तो इंसान कितना ग्रीडी होगा, कितना प्रॉफिट बनाएगा। शेयर करो वापस। तो ये मेरा मोटिवेशन ये है कि मैं वो अपॉर्चुनिटी जो मुझे यहाँ इस मुल्क में 33 साल में मिली, जिस पे मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी बनाई है, वो मैं किसी और को क्यों ना दूंगा।
आज की कॉन्फ्रेंस जो थी, आई थिंक द होल एजेंडा ऑफ टुडेज कॉन्फ्रेंस वाज टू क्रिएट द अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो यहाँ पर हैं पाकिस्तान के लिए, वो यहाँ पे शोकेस करने की। पाकिस्तान सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट बोर्ड की तरफ से मैं आपको ये बहुत अच्छी तरह था, पाकिस्तान इज़ ओपन फॉर बिजनेस, पाकिस्तान वाज ओपन फॉर बिजनेस। यहाँ पे आके डायस्पोरा को इंगेज करने का मकसद सिर्फ ये है कि इतने सारे लोग हैं जो बड़े साइड लाइन्स पे खड़े होते हैं कि यार इज इट द राइट टाइम और नॉट। आई एम टेलिंग यू कैटेगोरिकली देयर इज सो मच गोइंग ऑन इन पाकिस्तान, देयर इज सो मच यूथ, देयर इज सो हंग्री, दे वांट टू डू समथिंग, और हम लोगों को आगे बढ़ के उन लोगों को सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत है। इस वक्त पाकिस्तान डिजर्व्स बेटर, पाकिस्तानी पीपल डिजर्व बेटर, एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ पोटेंशियल वी कैन डू।
First time on this large scale, successful companies who have invested in Pakistan, उन्होंने आके अपनी सक्सेस स्टोरी सुनाई है, और and the companies who want to go to Pakistan, a lot of their questions were answered, and this is a great step towards bringing more and more investment to Pakistan. And I think this good effort should be continued on annual basis and followed up.
थैंक यू सो मच। खातिन हज़रात, आपने हमारी ये रिपोर्ट मुलाज़ा फरमाई जो कि पाक यूएस टेक इन्वेस्टमेंट कॉन्फ्रेंस के हवाले से थी, जो कि स्टैनफोर्ड कैलिफोर्निया में मुनक़िद हुई। उम्मीद है आपको ये रिपोर्ट पसंद आई होगी। हमारा वक्त अब ख़त्म हुआ। अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। खुदा हाफिज़।
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फ़ख्र के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host Arif Zafar Mansuri, and we are here at the Westwood Recreation Center, which is a shelter for the people that are affected by fires in Los Angeles. As you know, Los Angeles is facing devastating fires at multiple locations that are causing havoc. The fires started about 4 days ago. Today is Saturday when we are recording this. The fires started on January 7th, Tuesday. And by today, there have been 11 lives that have been lost. Some 40,000 acres have burned down. The 5,000 plus structures have burned down. The economic damage is estimated to be in the $160 billion range. It is one of the worst fire damage in the history of Los Angeles, not only history of Los Angeles, but the history of United States. And there is, a tremendous human tragedy here. Now, there are lots of efforts by the government, by the charity organizations, by the community organizations to provide relief to these people that have been affected. Now, one of the organizations that is here at this shelter in Westwood is Friends of Pakistan. Friends of Pakistan is a representative organization of Pakistani Americans throughout the United States. They have brought in a lot of supplies, water, food, toys, and fruits, and a lot of other things. So we are here to talk to the people that have been affected and do a report on the relief efforts here in Westwood, which is a suburb or which is a part of the Los Angeles community. So let's, please watch this report. Thank you.
We are at the Westwood Recreation Center, one of the first locations to open its doors to individuals displaced by the Palisades Fire, the largest of the devastating wildfires that swept through Los Angeles. Inside the center, cots with Red Cross blankets are arranged in the gymnasium to accommodate approximately 250 people. According to the Red Cross, 3/4 of them are seniors. While the shelter is not yet at full capacity, it is steadily filling up. Volunteers note that older Angelenos are particularly vulnerable to the impact of last week's wildfires. In the early stages of the disaster, there was a shortage of both equipment and qualified personnel, forcing many to evacuate their homes and seek refuge in shelters like this one.
Okay, I have with me the government, the city government of this particular area, the Westwood. So we are standing with, can you please state your name?
Sure, it's Katie Yaroslav.
So you're the councilwoman for Los Angeles, but particularly this area.
Correct, yes.
So Councilwoman, I would like to ask you, what services has the city provided to this shelter in specific and in general to the people that are affected by fire?
Well, thank you so much for the question. So we're here at Westwood Rec Center, which is outside of the directly impacted area. So we're receiving people who are evacuating from all over the region, but mostly from the Palisades Fire. And this is a place that folks can come. We're pretty full right now, so we're directing folks to other shelters, particularly Pan Pacific Park east of here, on Beverly Drive, and also Stoner Park west of here. So there are other places that have a lot more capacity. And what you can expect to find there are a place to sleep, hot meals, access to medical care. We have some mobile medical facilities here right now, and then a bunch of resources. So connect you to services, connect you with lost loved ones you're trying to track down. We have some big TVs. There's pretty much everything you need. We've got some activities for kids. We're accepting smaller animals right now here. So that's what we're doing here. And then more broadly, we have an active fire, a very large series of fires across the region.
Specifically in the Westwood area, what is your estimate of the damage? How many housing units have burned down and how many acres have been affected?
So far, none of the district that I represent has caught on fire. And we're very lucky, thank God. But other parts of the city have been very impacted. Thousands of units of houses have been destroyed. Lots of businesses, lots of displaced people, and I don't think we'll know the full extent of the damage until this is over.
I have with me the president of the Friends of Pakistan, which is a representative organization of Pakistani Americans throughout America. So I would like to begin by asking you, Mr. Jamal Khwaja, what motivated Friends of Pakistan to come to this shelter with food, supplies, toys, and a lot of other stuff to help out the people that are affected by the fires?
Thank you, Arif. First, thank you very much for doing this. The only sentence I'll tell you is that we are Pakistani. We feel this is our community. The people who have lost their home or any valuables, they are our family. Regardless of which color they are from, which religion they are from, our belief is that everybody here living in United States, living in California especially, is Friends of Pakistan, and we are here to support them. I came yesterday to check out the shelter, and I spoke to the in charge over here, and I asked them that particularly what you need. So this is, a lot of people are bringing different items, and they are in needs of fruits, and especially water, fruits, and some other things. So it so happened that I put it on our chat group of Friends of Pakistan, and everybody from our team said, yes, we are in. What do you need? Ashraf Bhai, Abda, Almaz, Shakil Bhai, everybody. I mean, like, I can't even say anybody said no to it. And this is, we are in it. Let's go. This is our family. We need to go and support, and we need to go and do whatever it needed. So that's all we are here for. Friends of Pakistan is a family organization which is always here to support anybody and everybody.
Now, I see a lot of members of the Friend of Pakistan here today. Most all the assistant vice presidents, along with the executive directors of Friends of Pakistan are here. And not only they have come here by themselves, but they have brought their families. Friend of Pakistan is a 501c3 organization, and you have been involved with the relief efforts throughout, the past decades, I would think. So, can you tell us a little bit, very briefly, about your relief efforts related to the crisis and emergencies?
We are a community-based organization, and of course, whenever there is a need, wherever it is. So even I remember very categorically that during the time of COVID, we are one of the organization which managed to give like over 5,000 meals. Even at that time, we did food drives, many drives. Even now on January 16th on Linwood, with the cooperation of Los Angeles Sheriff Department and Friends of Pakistan, we are doing a food drive. We are equipped with giving over 1,200 food packages, like a literally box of food, which a family can manage themselves for at least 15 to 20 days. We are arranging that on 16th of January in Linwood.
Jamal Khaja Saab, as the president of the Friend of Pakistan, who's been involved with many, assisting in many relief efforts, what message would you like to convey to others regarding the importance of getting involved, supporting the community, to help out the people that need our help?
It's a very simple message. Together, we are a big team. And whatever the differences in any family, any community, we have differences. Let's put them aside. When people are in need, we should get together and see what the need is and try to help them. And please don't take this that, oh, I can only afford 2 bananas or a packet of apple. Every effort counts. Like today, you could see here, we have all kind of fruits. We have all kinds of supply material which was requested by the center. So please just join us. Come, put hands together, and we'll do wonders together. Friends of Pakistan is always looking for members. You have seen our website. There is a membership form. Show your interest. Come join us.
Thank you so much. We are at the Westwood Recreational Center right now, which is a shelter for the people that are affected by the fires in Los Angeles. I have the Consul General of Pakistan in Los Angeles, Mr. Asim Ali Khan, with me right now. And also, we have the Friends of Pakistan group, which is the representative group of Pakistani Americans in the entire United States. The president of that group, Jamal Khaja Saab, is with me today. I would now begin by asking the Consul General, Asim Ali Khan, sir, what inspired you to visit this shelter today to support the affected people by the fire?
Arisab, thank you. This is a biggest human tragedy, the unprecedented fires in the history of Los Angeles. So we came together, and I'm very grateful to the Friends of Pakistan, all members and all of you, to join the Consul General of Pakistan to come here to support the victims of the fires. This recreational center is actually shelter for 300 people, and there are many there, and we will reach out to others. So we are here to support the community, the victims, and we have brought, the Friends of Pakistan has brought some food and other supplies, and we are in touch with the authorities and administration of this shelter home, as well as the Red Cross who are supporting this. I specifically came to find out if there are any Pakistani citizens who are in need of help and who have been affected by the fires. So we have exchanged our contact information with this administration, and we have shared the information of the shelter homes among the Pakistani community to provide any support if there are any Pakistanis in distress or in need, and we are ready to support. And we are again thankful to the community, especially Friends of Pakistan, that is the first community organization that has come forward and initiated this relief efforts. Thank you.
What do you see the role of the Pakistan Consulate in supporting the Pakistani American community and the Pakistani American organization in face of these challenges, these emergencies, and disasters?
Pakistani community has been very generous and very supportive during past disasters also. For example, in COVID and other On other occasion, they have come forward. They have supported the victims of different tragedies. So I think it is a very good step. It shows how it shows their generosity, their feeling for the community and for the victims. And for Pakistan Consulate, we always remain alert to support Pakistani community here. If anybody approaches us, we will try to help them as much as we can.
Would you like to send any message, convey any message to the community through our program?
We have talked to the Red Cross and the administration of the shelter home. They have shared the information about their the things they need. They have informed us that they right now they need cash donations and blood donations as well as volunteers. So I would urge Pakistani community to come forward and support and join this relief effort.
I have Sean Enoy. He's the executive director of the Western region of Red Cross. He just gave us a tour of the shelter here. The capacity of the room is about 300 people. There are about 250 people there. I saw cots after cots, small beds. They're empty right now. It's noon time, but I did see some elderly that were still there. It's a very large setup here. They have rooms full of clothing, food. They have even a room for the pets. So this is a really great setup. So let's ask him. So first of all, tell us about what Red Cross is doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, the priorities are going to be around emergency shelter, emergency feeding, and comfort, whether it's physical, emotional, or medical. So we're working with our partners, both on the nonprofit side, on the elected side, on the city, state, and federal government side, to make sure that these folks get what they need.
So what is it that you need from the public right now?
Right now, the best way to make a contribution is to do so online by making a financial gift if they have the capacity, by signing up to give blood at redcrossblood.org, or by signing up to volunteer at redcross.org/volunteer. The outpouring from the community has been incredible. We have seen about 5,000 new volunteers sign up just in the last 72 hours, and they're in the queue. They're going through background checks. So we're asking people to stay home, stay safe, stay off the roads if you can. There's been an outpouring of resources, and right now our shelters are okay. We want them to make sure that they're getting the emergency medicine that they need until we went into the recovery phase of this operation.
So Sean, is this center, this is the Westwood Recreational Center. Can people come over here to donate blood or give financial donations?
Right now, we're asking folks to just go online and give those financial contributions. To give blood, they can find blood donation centers all across the Southland or across the country by visiting redcrossblood.org and entering their zip code. They'll show them all the opportunities near them to give blood.
Sean, this is one of the greatest human tragedies in the history of Los Angeles. What have you found? I mean, you're interacting with the people that have been affected by the fires. Tell us a little bit about your personal observations.
Yeah, these are people who don't have the resources. They don't know if their home is still there. They don't have, the resources for a hotel room, or they're maybe just escaping in an emergency and figuring out what their next steps are like. And so, again, food, shelter, water, comfort, whether it's from their community, medical, or physical support.
So how can people get hold of you if they want to donate or they want to donate the blood? Is there a number or is there a website?
I recommend people go to the website. The phone number might be a little slammed right now, but if you're not in need of emergency care, I would say just go to redcross.org or redcrossblood.org to donate blood.
I would like to also ask you, we have the Friend of Pakistan group, which is the representative group of Pakistani Americans nationwide. We also have our Consul General of Pakistan in Los Angeles, Mr. Asim Ali Khan, has also joined. We have brought in food, supplies, fruit, and, so tell us about your experience with the Friends of Pakistan.
It's been incredible. So thank you so much for bringing all that food, fresh fruit and things like that, bring a lot of comfort to these folks. So thank you for coordinating all of that.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you so much.
I have Alia Al-Ghamidi with me. She is a volunteer with Red Cross, and she is from Saudi Arabia. So I would like to ask you, what has your experience been? You're working at this shelter, which is the Westwood Recreational Center. We have, I understand, some 250 people that have been affected by fire. What has been your experience dealing with the affected people so far?
To be honest, the generosity of people from outside is amazing. People from everywhere, people are giving to the point we have to turn things on. There is so many help, there is so many generosity, there is so many good people, and I'm really shocked. We cannot even keep up with the amount of people, how much they give in us. The Red Cross inside, it is very organized organization. They're making sure everybody is registered, the volunteers taking care of everybody individually and all together.
So what state of mind people are in? I'm sure they're very shocked and they're, of course, the grief. So what has been your experience dealing with the people that are coming to the shelter after losing their houses, after losing everything they own?
To be honest, we have not noticed a lot of people like in a shock. Maybe people are still in a new shock state of mind. Maybe it will affect them next week or so. But people seem to come here, they're finding the comfort they need, they're finding the help they need, they're finding the food. They started to become groups, they started to make friends. So the environment inside, even though you're not allowed to have pictures inside, but the environment inside is really great. People are coming together, gathering together, like disasters sometimes bring people together, and this is one of them basically.
Thank you so much.
You are more than welcome.
I have Mohammed Shakil with me, with his two sons. Shakil Sahab, you have brought water. Can you tell us, is that all the water or?
No, we have another truck is coming up there.
Okay.
एक और truck है उसमें भी बहुत सारा.
Okay. So, and what else are you bringing to the shelter today?
We have bananas, fresh fruit है और other like non-perishable items हैं जो इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं.
Thank you so much.
So today we are located by the Westwood Recreational Center, and today we are just south of UCLA, and today we're going to be talking about the Palisades Fire. The Palisades Fire has destroyed 22,000 acres, only 11% containment. CAL FIRE is working as best as they can as possible. We've heard a lot of harrowing stories. I cannot imagine what these people are going through. We just had a lady that just come up to us and she said, "Thank you very much for the oranges." And we were like, "Thank you, it's very much appreciated." But I would just like to say that, this country is very resilient. Everyone knows how to be resilient. Red Cross is working the best that they can, including the city of Los Angeles. But I would just love to let everyone know that America is strong and will always be strong.
I have with me Michelle Struven. She is the executive director at LA Weekly. She's been covering the fires here in Los Angeles. So what can you tell us about what you have seen so far?
Well, a lot of ash. I've had a few friends whose homes were burnt to the ground, and they don't know what to do next. Everybody's completely overwhelmed. Something else that I've seen a lot of is, the animals. I don't know if you noticed, but out in front there's a lady there with her goat.
Right.
She had to evacuate with her goat, and they've just this morning evacuated 50 dogs from shelters here. Best Friends Society, it's an animal rescue place. They have their headquarters is in Kanab, Utah, and they took 50 dogs at the Hollywood Burbank airport, put them on a plane, and evacuated them to Utah.
So, Michelle, do you know if there is a shelter specifically for animals? Because I see at this shelter in Westwood, they do have a few animals, but I don't see a major setup for taking care of animals.
No.
Do you know?
No, what's happening is the shelters are becoming a little overwhelmed. That's why they evacuated all these dogs. Yeah, the shelter, I went there yesterday on Olympic, and they're getting donations, and you can go there and you can get cat food and pet food for your animals and take it away. But so far, I haven't seen any animals being abandoned. I've seen a lot of mountain lions running around looking for shelter.
So, Michelle, as a senior editor at LA Weekly, you have covered a lot of stories before. What about this story? This is the worst that we have ever seen. The human tragedy, the loss of life, the economic loss. How can you sum this?
Well, I can tell you that I have been working here in Los Angeles as a journalist my entire life. I covered 9/11. Earthquakes, the 94, every earthquake there's nothing like this. There's just, it's unfathomable. The city of Pacific Palisades and out, in Altadena, they have to rebuild. They have to start off as whole new cities. And that's going to look how long it took them to become cities before. It's mind-boggling, and it's just something I don't think anybody's really seen on the planet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jose Mercado, he lives in Santa Monica area, and his house was impacted by the fires. Can you tell us when did you find out, and how did you find out that you need to evacuate, and what did you do after that?
Luckily, I was off that day. I literally just dropped off my wife, and she works in Brentwood, so I had to run a few errands down in Venice area. and she ended up calling me, and she's worked on one of the high rises.
Oh, is it right?
And then she could see it. And she called me, and she goes, "I think there's a fire." And so I hurried back to my home, and maybe like within half hour, I started thinking in my head, I better go pick her up.
So what time is it? What time of the day is it?
10:30, 11 o'clock.
At night?
No, morning.
In the morning?
Yes, it happened in the morning.
Okay.
And then we ended up, we came back home. We kind of started seeing the increasing winds, so we started preparing ourselves. We got our suitcases out little by little throughout the day. We've been through several fires.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah. I've been a resident of Santa Monica. She worked for over 25 years, and so I pretty much grew up here. And so I was literally watching where I live at is where I can literally see from the Highlands all the way to Will Rogers. I'm a little bit behind. I'm like San Vicente Boulevard.
I see.
And so I can go right where it's a local spot right behind the Santa Monica stairs, and I can literally watch it. So I was time stamping it, just watching the fire. But what scared me the most was seeing how fast the wind was going. That's when I went into action. I said, I'm going to pick her up.
So when did you arrive at the shelter?
Wednesday. We were my wife was completely freaked out. She was really, by the time we left, because the police department came by Tuesday night around 9:30. So from 10:30 almost to 9 o'clock, we were still home. But once it crested the ridge of Will Rogers, I knew that was a problem. That's when we got out of here.
So what condition, have you been back to your house?
No, we have no idea. We've only heard that things are fine from Entrada on up, but the problem is we're not allowed to go back there because they call it a mandatory evacuation. We can't even be in our area because now they're worried about the looters, they're worried about the people, so they brought in Santa Monica brought in the National Guard, other resources to come in. So I don't.
What have your experience been so far with the emergency, the first responders, the firefighters, the law enforcement?
In terms of what we're coming back to right now, I think this fire is such an unprecedented level that I don't. It's a war zone. They were literally fighting a war. It's like almost like the fire almost invaded the Malibu, Santa Monica area. And I remember they did have resources in the area. And so I remember before we left, they were still flying the planes to get. But the problem is, I didn't understand this as a civilian, that when you fly those big super scoopers they had coming in, that the wind was blowing so hard that the retardant, it's like a sprinkler. It just flies, it won't even hit the ground. Yeah. So, but in terms of, I think they're doing a great job.
How satisfied are you with the services provided at the shelter?
Yes, very, 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 very. You could literally see how from the Red Cross and Salvation Army to volunteers, they're managing it. It's a constant. Everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to come to do this, and everybody's being respectful. I think that's. I'm luckily, hopefully, I did not lose my place. But fire is still there. People don't realize right now we're day four. Day 4. It's still burning. So I think everybody needs to kind of be patient right now. This is the time of patience because I can tell those firefighters are exhausted. Every time I watch the news, it's getting more and more. So appreciate everything. So I appreciate from the Red Cross, Salvation Army, volunteers, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You watched our report on the relief efforts at the Westwood Recreation Center, which is a shelter for the people that are affected by fire. This is certainly the worst human tragedy that Los Angeles has ever faced. But this is also a story of human resilience and empathy. The firefighters, the first responders, the law enforcement, the emergency workers are showing incredible courage and dedication, and the public and the government is trying to make sure that they can provide all the relief that they can provide these people that have lost their home. There have been 5,000 structures that have burned down. There are some, according to some estimate, almost 250,000 people had to evacuate their homes. Some of those people are at this shelter. There are other shelters around Los Angeles area. We hope that the fires are still burning. As of last night, the fire had reached San Fernando Valley, which is a very thickly populated area. So we hope and pray everybody is safe. We hope that these fires would be under control soon, and we wish all the Los Angelinos, best of luck, and we hope everyone stays safe. And thank you so much. That's all the time we have. Please take care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host, Arif Zafar Mansuri. It's my pleasure and distinct honor to welcome the esteemed Consul General of Pakistan in Los Angeles, Mr. Asim Ali Khan. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Arif Saab. Welcome to the Consulate General of Pakistan.
Before I begin the conversation today, I'd like to share a brief introduction of Consul General Khan. He's a very distinguished career diplomat with over 2 decades of experience in the Foreign Service of Pakistan. Throughout his illustrious career, he has held many key diplomatic assignments in China, in the United States, in Canada, and in France. Prior to assuming his current role, he served as the Director General at the Foreign Ministry of Pakistan in Islamabad, and also held a very pivotal position at the Presidential Secretariat. His expertise include bilateral and multilateral diplomacy, foreign policy, economic diplomacy, and also creating the community engagement throughout the globe. He has a master's degree in international relations, and he also has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering with honors. For his outstanding contribution to public service, he was awarded the prestigious Sitara-e-Imtiaz, the highest Pakistani civil award, which was awarded by the President of Pakistan on Pakistan Day in 2023. So, Consul General Khan, I'd like to begin by asking you about the Sitara-e-Imtiaz, the most esteemed award that you received. I'd like to ask you to please share with us the background and the efforts that led to this very distinguished recognition.
Thank you, Arif Saab. I'm grateful to Allah Almighty for this honor. Sitara-e-Imtiaz was awarded to me by the President of Pakistan almost 2 years ago because of the recognition of my services, public service. And this was a very specific project. Many of you, because might be aware that it is Pakistan's exit from the grey list, FATF's grey list in 2022 October, that led to this recognition. And I was part of the team that led this effort. FATF actually put Pakistan in its grey list, and there was a threat to put Pakistan in the black list in 2018 and between 2018 and 2022. So this was a huge project. It was a nationwide effort, interagency, interprovincial, intergovernmental, and a lot of coordination, a lot of work was required, and alhamdulillah, we were able to achieve for Pakistan, and I'm very proud and glad that we were able to render our services to Pakistan. It was actually a project fulfill certain deficiencies that FATF and many key countries had highlighted at the bilateral level in Pakistan's anti-money laundering and countering financing of terrorism regime. So I worked on the part of countering financing of terrorism regime, especially in the targeted financial sanctions part, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs had a lead role. In addition, we led a very proactive diplomatic campaign throughout these 4 years to get Pakistan out of this, and this was actually very instrumental in supporting Pakistan's economy and integration of Pakistan's financial system with the international financial system. So we were able to achieve because there was a high-level government commitment by the government of Pakistan and sustained effort by a lot of departments and officials, not from the federal government, but from the provincial governments and relevant agencies. So this was huge, and alhamdulillah, we achieved it.
MashaAllah, that was certainly a very, very major accomplishment, and you deserve all the accolades for that. So you have, over the past 22 years, lived abroad in several countries with different cultural settings. So how have your personal experiences shaped your approach towards diplomacy?
I have served in many continents. You already mentioned, started from France, then North America, incidentally, a couple of times, and served in China and on smaller assignments to different parts of the world. The cultural understanding is very important for a diplomat to build bridges between two countries, and this leads the way for a diplomat and for a country to strengthen relationship between countries and between nations. So when we immerse ourselves in the cultures and develop a deeper understanding, it helps us in strengthening relationship between countries, not only in political domain, but to develop collaboration, economic cooperation, and other areas we pursue. And for understanding a culture, we need to have a mutual respect for our culture. For a regular or an ordinary immigrant, it could be a different journey, but for a diplomat, it involves empathy, it involves better cultural communication, and it also involves respect as part of diplomatic norm to appreciate the cultures and find common grounds between cultures. And this mutual respect leads to mutual benefit for different cultures. And when you develop relationship at the cultural level between people, between societies, it helps strengthen relations between countries at the state level, at political level also.
Of course. Now, I would like you to please share with us some insight into your role as the Consul General of Pakistan in Los Angeles, and how do you navigate the challenges in fostering the relationship between Pakistan and the United States?
Consulate General of Pakistan in Los Angeles was established almost 3 decades ago, rather over 3 decades ago, to serve Pakistani American community on the west coast of the United States. So we have a responsibility to serve the community and safeguard Pakistan's interests on the west coast. You know, it's a big country, and 10 states on the west coast are under our area of responsibility. So the first challenge is to navigate through this vast geographical territory, which is almost half the size of European Union. Although we have concentration of Pakistani American community in the state of California, and relatively smaller clusters are in the state of Washington, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and other states under our area of responsibility. So to cover this whole area, it needs a lot of commitment and hard work and a lot of coordination and commitment of time and resources for us. Luckily, we have a very patriotic and very enterprising and dynamic Pakistani American community.
Absolutely.
And that help us and serve, they work with us as partners. So our primary job is to promote Pakistan's interests in this part of the world, and that we consider Pakistani American community as a major partner and stakeholder in that. Secondly, the services, luckily, over a period of time, Pakistan has improved its consular services for the community and made it brought them at par at the international level. Our consular services, alhamdulillah, are mostly online, digital.
Gee.
So we are providing services to the community at their doorstep from their homes. For most of the services, the community doesn't have to visit the consulate. They can apply for different services, their travel documents, and other documents from their own locations. So this has eased our work and helped us in focusing our attention on the economic diplomacy. So challenges, alhamdulillah, are as they come up, we try to overcome them by re-strategizing, changing our strategy. So now our focus, as I said, has shifted to economic diplomacy and public diplomacy. In the past, it used to be improving the standards of consular services, because majority of services in the past were through manual processes.
Absolutely. So for a visa or for a passport renewal, it can be done online. It doesn't require coming.
Yes, almost all services.
Okay.
Almost passport renewal, passport application of passport submission, either visa application, attestations, different type of certificates. All these services are online now.
Okay.
So this is a sign of good governance established by Pakistan over a period of time, and this is, I would proudly say, that much better than consular services by many countries,
of course,
which are counterpart Pakistan. And the public reviews we receive, which are available publicly online, they also attest to this fact that the services we provide are up to mark, and we focus. It's a people-centric approach that we adopt. That we immediately attend to any feedback, complaint, requests, or any issues and concerns conveyed to us by the community. We try to be very responsive.
Absolutely.
We try to be transparent. We try to be timely, active, and rather proactive in this regard, so that people have a high satisfaction level from the services. And this is the very purpose of this office, that Pakistanis on the west coast of the United States remain connected to Pakistan, and they are provided services as they deserve.
Yeah, I have personally, experienced a great improvement in the services offered by the consulate. So, thank you so much for all this improvement. I'd like to ask you, how do you see the evolving dynamics between Pakistan and the United States in terms of the bilateral relations?
Also, Pakistan-US relations are as old as almost Pakistan. And this is a very important relationship for us, and Pakistan attaches high degree of importance to Pakistan-US relationship, bilateral relationship. Among our bilateral relationships with major countries in the world, this is one of the most important relationships, and we aim to further improve and enhance and overcome any challenges that come in its way. So it is not only an old relationship, it is an important relationship. It is in many ways a strategic relationship. We are a major non-NATO ally of the United States. We have remained strategic partners, and the relationship is very broad-based, long-standing, and the relationship has gone through ups and downs in the past because of geopolitical reasons and because of regional dynamics in our region and because of the priorities of both countries. But overall, the relationship has remained on a positive trajectory. I would say the convergences in these bilateral relationships are more than the differences or divergences. So this is a sign of you can calculate overall result that if more convergences are there than divergences, then the relationship is positive, it's on the right track and trajectory. the level of engagement has varied in the past, depending on the national interest of both countries as they see it themselves, as well as due to geopolitical reasons. So level of engagement and the importance of relationship, you might find certain changes with time. But we consider this as important and we want to further strengthen and improve that.
Consul General Khan, what do you consider the most important aspect of diplomacy in view of the current global challenges?
In the past, when diplomacy was very different, it was diplomacy between states. I'm talking about this information and before the information and communication technology revolution, when the governments were the only channel of communication between states, when the embassies and consulates were the only channel of communication or predominant challenge of communication between states, then the diplomacy was very different and conducted very differently. But now, since we have multiple channels of communication between states, and people being one of them, media being another channel, social media another challenge, and now you have information overload. So diplomacy has also changed, and we have also evolved ourselves. Pakistan has also evolved its diplomacy. So state-to-state diplomacy between governments and purely through diplomatic channels is one strand, but we have also worked on public diplomacy. Public diplomacy is like involvement of people and cultivating and enhancing relationship with the public and becoming more people-centric and considering public as one of the important stakeholders in diplomacy and improvement of relations between states. So as I said in the beginning, the Pakistan community in the United States, which is almost 1 million strong, we consider them as an important partner under our public diplomacy umbrella as an important partner to improve our relationship between two countries. So this is a big change that has occurred in last over 2 decades. We have worked hard on public diplomacy, and under this public diplomacy, the cultural diplomacy has also come up as an important aspect of improving relationship between. You asked in the beginning about the importance of cultural communication and the cultural diplomacy. So public diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, social media diplomacy, these are now important aspects which 20, 25 years ago, 2 decades ago, were not the top priorities.
Of course.
And as I said, because of improved governance in Pakistan and because of the improvement in rather digitization and modernization of consular services by the embassies and consulate, our focus has shifted to economic diplomacy. Okay. This is one of the top priorities and instructions by the government of Pakistan to our embassies, including us, to focus more and more on economic diplomacy to become part of solutions to Pakistan's economic challenges. So we are reorienting ourselves. And again, I would say, and I would rather thank through your show, through your media channel, Pakistani community, who are an important partner and also in all these 3 aspects of our work: public diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, as well as economic diplomacy. So we want to improve economic relation with the US and we will rely on the support and assistance of the community. The bridges they build between 2 countries are very strong, and economic cooperation can be further strengthened if community contributes more.
Consul General Khan, you mentioned cultural diplomacy. So I know that you attended a recent screening of The Glass Worker, which is Pakistan's first hand-drawn animation film. Now, how important are these cultural events in promoting understanding of Pakistan's rich cultural heritage in United States?
Pakistan is one of the oldest civilizations. Pakistan is a nascent country, only 7-8 decades old.
Yes.
But the people of Pakistan inherit the heritage and civilization, which is one of the oldest, rather the oldest civilization in the world, the Indus Valley civilization. So when we say we inherit that in Indus Valley civilization, it means Pakistan's cultural diversity and richness of culture and beauty of culture is unmatched and unparalleled in the world. And this is something we want to project it worldwide through our various diplomatic efforts, including public diplomacy, cultural diplomacy. So under this cultural diplomacy efforts, we not only highlight that Pakistan is an older civilization and carries heritage, rich, diverse, beautiful, and we invite our American friends to visit Pakistan and see for themselves this diversity and beauty. So the recent phenomena and recent developments in Pakistani culture has an influence of technology also, and also international currents. So the glass worker you talked about is a very unique endeavor by a very enterprising producer and writer and director, Usman Tariq. So Usman has created this movie after 10 years of strenuous efforts. And I really appreciate that. He is in Los Angeles for past couple of months. So I also attended a screening of the movie, large number of people, and there are different screenings of the glass worker. We are very proud and we are very glad that it was considered, it's being considered for Oscar. So in two categories, one is in the feature film, one is in the animation category. So the decision about the animation category and shortlisting will be made in a couple of days. And we are hopeful that it will be recognized. We will be lucky, and we hope and wish. We have done some lobbying and try to promote the glass worker as the first effort that will inspire a lot of young Pakistani girls and boys to come forward and promote Pakistan's culture worldwide, not only through traditional meals, but also through this technology. So this is a very good effort, and we support such efforts. You remember we held in July last year one of the pioneering events led by the Consulate, in which, and you were part of that.
I attended it.
You attended. We brought together a couple of Pakistani producers, directors, and actors, and producer, director, actors, writers from the Hollywood, and to develop connections and bridges between the entertainment and media industries of both countries. And we continue to do so. And we also plan to do some Pakistani film festival here this year, or second half of this year, or early next year. So these are the efforts that are very important, because what I feel that Pakistani culture is so beautiful, so rich, so diverse, and that it needs to be exposed to the world. A lot of efforts are required, and we play our part. We are lucky that we are in a city which is now
Hollywood,
known for being Hollywood, the heart of Western entertainment industry. So we have an advantage, and we continue to tap these resources. And again, some members of Pakistani community are very helpful and supportive in these efforts.
And Pakistan has such talent, and we have a young population. 70% of our population is of Pakistan is 35 years and below. So there is a tremendous potential there in the field of cultural diplomacy. I'd like to ask you. You recently organized a Pak-US Tech Investment Conference in November 2024 at the Stanford University. I'd like to ask you, how do you envision the future of the tech collaboration between Pakistan and the United States?
Pakistan has trade with the United States in traditional sectors, textile, sports goods, leather, surgical instruments, and other areas. Almost bilateral trade is almost $8 billion. But this export in services, especially in IT services and products, is increasing. So overall, $3.2 billion of Pakistan's IT exports, out of that, major portion is to the United States, and out of that, major portion is to the western part, to state of California. So California is a big market for Pakistan's IT industry, Pakistan's IT exports, services and products both. And there is a huge potential because of the Silicon Valley. So we planned this event a couple of months ago, and with the support of the relevant departments and organizations here, and of course community, our tech community, which is growing in the United States, we designed this event, and our major partners in Pakistan was Ministry of IT, Pakistan Software Export Board, Ministry of Commerce, Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, Pakistan Software Export Board, and other departments. And under the leadership of our ambassador in Washington, we were able to organize this. And alhamdulillah, it was a good start. You know how this tech conference at Stanford University helped us. This is very unique. And in Silicon Valley, it is not easy to organize a single country exhibition for the whole day, 7-8 hours, where 200 people remain seated there for 8 hours the whole day to listen to what Pakistan offers and how Pakistan and US tech ecosystems can be brought together to increase this collaboration. What Pakistan offers in the tech industry is we are producing at least 30 to 40,000 IT graduates every year. Our IT exports are increasing at unparalleled growth rate of at least 25% for last couple of years, and this growth is expected to remain constant or rather increase. We have world's third largest pool of freelancers in the field of information technology. And we, as you said, we have a young, enterprising, dynamic population, and more are now studying information technology subjects in the universities. And government's conducive policies and determination and targets to increase IT exports, all these provide a support mechanism to further this collaboration. So the Stanford University Tech Conference was first, and we intend to organize more in future in different tech sub-ecosystems in the United States. And we find traction on both sides to increase this collaboration. And you know, government has set a very ambitious target of increasing IT exports in next couple of years to more than $20 billion. It's very important to achieve this target that we proactively work on enhancing these collaborations. And IT provides a low-hanging fruit to us. So that conference specifically, how it helped us in country branding, what Pakistan offers, because at the government level, this was, after a long time, this was a very different effort, a unique effort. So country branding was one of the major objectives. Secondly, it provides networking platform to Pakistani tech community. Yes. People from different parts of the United States, mostly from California, West Coast, but from other parts of the United States came and networked among themselves also. Third, we offered in this conference very specific projects, and you know, Pakistani startups, Software Export Board participated in that, and Minister for IT also spoke on the occasion. So we presented very specific projects, and you know, two Pakistani entrepreneurs based in California announced an initial investment of $20 million in the field of IT. This seems to be a small number, but it's a good start, and it inspires other entrepreneurs and professionals and companies and US businesses to work forward. And Pakistan also participates except in addition to this conference, some major conferences that are organized every year, like TechCrunch and Game Developers Conference, and increasingly our participation, our engagement with the Silicon Valley has increased over the last 2-3 years. And we intend to further enhance, and we again rely on our tech community in the Pakistani American diaspora to come forward, support, not only for the sake of patriotism, but for mutual benefit also. Because the benefits and the returns and dividends Pakistan offers in the field of IT, tangible, real, and Pakistan offers not only cost competitiveness, but rather quality competitiveness also among its competitors.
So, Consul General Khan, your consulate represents 10 Western states, and you are very accessible by the community, and you're very, very popular in the community. I see you at just about every major community events. You're married and have 3 children. So I'd like to ask you, how do you balance your personal life with this extreme, load of work and also commitment to your private life? How do you balance it?
I have an important but difficult question. Ideally, everybody wants to have a work-life balance.
Of course.
But when you have a commitment and you have a responsibility, this appointment and this assignment is not only responsibility but a privilege, then I consider this as a challenge to cope up with or meet the demands of this position. As I said, we have a people-centric approach. So we try to engage with the community wherever there is any benefit to the community as a whole or any benefit to Pakistan. although I'm really grateful to Pakistani community who gave us a lot of respect and recognition because of their love for Pakistan, and we have also made personal friendships. I have personally tried to become accessible and very proactive.
Absolutely.
We are using social media platforms, we are using all electronic means to compensate for the physical interactions also. In the state of California, of course, we try to have a physical engagement with our community, but outside this state, it's a huge area, as I said, so we try to fully utilize the social media platforms to reach out ourselves. And you can also support us if any part of our jurisdiction remains out of touch and we have not been able to engage. We will help we'll be thankful for your support, and through your channel we request all Pakistani American community members to reach out to us. The best way to reach out to us is through emails in non-emergency cases, but if somebody needs any emergency travel assistance, you have our phone numbers, you can come forward. It's a difficult thing, but cooperation of a family, I'm also thankful to my family members who are cooperative, who understand the demands of this profession, and who also understand that this is a privilege to be in this position, because this is a representation for Pakistan, and the kind of diplomacy we have been trying to conduct is through engagement, through collaboration, through partnerships, and through dialogue, and through nurturing and through cultivating positivity.
Looking ahead, what are some of the goals that you would like to achieve during your tenure in Los Angeles, and how do you envision leaving a lasting impact?
Arif Saab, under different areas or different segments, or I would say types of diplomacy we are supposed to undertake. The consular services, of course, is something that is our constant effort. The improvement of consular services, day-to-day improvement, keeping a high standard, reducing complaints as much as possible, be responsive and transparent, and providing services to the community, of course, under the rules, but as much facilitation as much we can provide. So this is one of the major goals. Second major goal is economic diplomacy, to create more economic opportunities for Pakistan in the country, to support communities' integration, unity, harmony among themselves, to unite people, to facilitate all their efforts which they undertake to support Pakistan's socio-economic sector. And I'm really impressed by the community, especially in California, the number of fundraisers they undertake every year to organize to support Pakistan's hospitals, schools, social sector. So we support all these efforts and to maintain the community's connection with Pakistan and their motivation to help Pakistan's socio-economic sector and complement government's efforts. Third, Pakistan's image. I think Pakistan's image has to be improved in the Western world, including the United States. Pakistan is a great country, as I said, it has a heritage, centuries, millennia-old heritage, and it stands for a lot of good things in the world that needs to be told. The stories needs to be told. What Pakistan has done for not only the region, for the different causes all abroad the world, all over the world, and also for maintaining peace and security in South Asia and different parts of the world. For example, through UN peacekeeping missions, we have been one of the highest contributor of troops to the UN peacekeeping missions for decades. At least 10,000 for when I was dealing with this subject at the UN desk a couple of years ago, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we were the highest contributor of UN peacekeeping troops. This is a fact which very few people know. 10,000 troops sending abroad along with your equipment and commitment to go into difficult war zones to maintain peace and security requires a lot of commitment in this case. Then Pakistan's effort in maintaining peace and security, fighting a war against terrorism, sacrificing 90,000 people in this world, this is a huge sacrifice that testifies to Pakistan's commitment to peace and security. So these are hard facts that needs to be told here. Also, Pakistan's commitment to maintain peace and security, not only in our region but in different parts of the world. Our active role in the United Nations. And I would like to share from your channel that Alhamdulillah, Pakistan has started its membership, non-permanent membership of the UN Security Councils. It assumes yesterday for next 2 years. So Pakistan will be playing a major role in the UN Security Councils to promote peace and security in different parts of the world, in difficult areas and region, and that requires again a lot of commitment and conviction and efforts on part of Pakistan. And Pakistan has a firm commitment not only to peace and security but also its own socio-economic developments and stability, and addressing the challenges people of Pakistan face. So we are part of that. The embassy and the consulate is part of these efforts and work under the government's direction, and these are government's policies that we implement.
I'd like to request your opinion or comments regarding our newspapers, Pakistan Link and Urdu Link. Actually, when you first joined the consulate, Pakistan Link was the first one to interview you, and so I would like to request your opinion of the newspapers.
Arif Saab, let me first thank you for keeping Urdu Link and Pakistan Link alive in this age of social media, digital technologies, websites, when people are more used to using electronic devices for news and rely more on social media than traditional legacy media. So I'm really thankful to you for keeping it alive and keeping it its name as Pakistan Link. Your continuous efforts show your commitment towards uniting the community, providing them a platform, and not only in California but all over the United States, rather out of the United States also. Let me just share with you, when I was in Canada on my first diplomatic assignment 20 years ago, there were at least in Toronto City 7-8 major newspapers, and I used to receive the hard copy paper edition of those newspapers in Urdu language. So people were producing a lot of Urdu newspapers in that. Very few people at that time used to read news on screens, on computer, mobile phones.
That's right.
So now the world has changed, and these traditional media, legacy media, Urdu newspaper, Pakistan-related newspapers are fading away. Yes. Many of them in this country have shut down. Yeah. But since you have kept your newspaper and media alive, that is a great achievement, and I'm really grateful to you. And I would request you to continue that, to connect the community, provide them a platform, and provide them news about Pakistan and among Pakistani community also, what is happening in the community.
Consul General Khan, at the end, I would like to ask you if you would like to convey a message through our program to the community.
My message to the community is to remain positive about Pakistan, optimistic about Pakistan, hopeful about Pakistan. Pakistan is on its right path. Pakistan has a bright future, and you can see through your own eyes Pakistan coming up in the field of economy, information technology, and macroeconomic stabilization in the past few months is a sign that Pakistan's economy has been established, is being reformed on firm footing. And recent announcement by the government of Pakistan, the economic package for next 5 years in the name of Udan Pakistan, shows government's commitment to usher into a new era of Pakistan's socio-economic development. So remain positive about Pakistan, remain connected to Pakistan, visit Pakistan, and encourage your children to visit Pakistan, your American friends to visit Pakistan, to see for themselves what Pakistan offers. It's a beautiful country, it's a great country, and your support and your firm belief in Pakistan will further take it forward in this century.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you watched our conversation with the Consul General of Pakistan, Mr. Asim Ali Khan. I found it very informative and educational. Hope you did too. That's all the time we have. Take care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Good evening. Welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host, Arif Zafar Mansuri. We are very honored to have Betty Yee with us today, who's running for California Governor in 2026. First of all, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Arif. It's a pleasure to be here.
Betty Yee is a very, very familiar name in California. She has been the California Controller since 2015 to 2023. She was on the board of the State Board of Equalization from 2004 through 2014 and has been a very respected person. She's the most knowledgeable about the state's finances, the budgets and everything, because she's managed the budget and has done a really great job. So, Betty, I'd like to start by asking you, what motivated you to run for California Governor in 2026?
Thank you. And again, really a pleasure to join you. As I look at California, it's my home state. I'm a daughter of immigrants from China. And I just see that California has become a state where many people here are just feeling things aren't adding up anymore for them in their lives. It's costs are going up. The ability for them to think about, secure housing, college for their kids, just the cost of living generally has become quite high. But also, I think about just the supports that are not there for Californians that are experiencing economic vulnerability. So really my motivation was inspired by what I remember growing up as an advocate for my immigrant parents, that as they were beginning their laundry and dry cleaning business, if they ever were going to experience a time when they couldn't make ends meet, there were supports that could help them. They never had to rely on them, but we knew that there was always that support. Yes. And right now, so many Californians are feeling, just very vulnerable. That if they lose their job, or if somehow they can't put food on the table, they don't have the means to just make ends meet. It's a very stressful and anxious time for them. So I think California government can do a lot better job in building that capacity to maintain those supports for Californians. So I can give you an example. When my parents had their business, if they couldn't make the mortgage or the rent payment for their business, my mother used to say, well, I'll just go out and get a job. I can go back to school and learn English and get a job. I can go to San Francisco Chinatown and sew clothes, at a factory, and bring home some additional dollars. And she's reminding me of that. She's 101 years old now. She reminds me of that, but in the same breath, she now remembers, but that was a time when you could do that. Now, people are already working 2 jobs, so how do you do that? So my motivation to run is really to hopefully be able to keep Californians safe, first of all, but also economically secure. And I think there's a bigger role that California government can play in that.
Thank you. Now, of course, economy is definitely major issue.
Yes.
California being the 5th largest economy, the cost of living has gotten really high. I mean, the inflation has come down. In 2022, the inflation was 9.1.
Yes.
And now it's 2.4. But we have the prices of just about everything have gone up. Now, as a controller of California, you were able to find $7 billion of inappropriate spending, and then you reduced it, you eliminated that spending. As a governor, how do you see you controlling? So right now, California has a deficit.
Yes.
So what would you do to address that situation?
Sure. A lot of just managing our finances is being sure that we are spending within our means. But it's also about how are we really instilling strict accountability over our finances. So in other words, we may be spending billions of dollars to address our homelessness issue, but if we're not reviewing whether those dollars are working in terms of helping reduce homelessness, we need to rethink how we spend that money. And so right now, I would say we don't have that discipline of accountability to review that. And so we're spending a lot of money that isn't necessarily yielding results. I think California government, just because it is a big operation, there is inherent waste.
Right.
And so it's nobody's fault. We're just a big operation. There's going to be waste. So we root that out every day, just being mindful that we are spending our money appropriately. But also just building that capacity, as I talked about, so that when Californians are feeling economically vulnerable, that it doesn't become a crisis to where then we're spending more money trying to provide relief to them rather than allowing them to just seek those supports along the way so that they can be better in terms of providing relief for their own families. And so there are ways that just looking at how we spend better, how we deploy our resources better so that we know that these programs are all interrelated. We don't have to have a new program for every single issue, but that we know that housing insecurity is related probably to food insecurity, is probably related to just so many other things that we should be looking at spending those dollars in a more integrated way.
So primarily, if I understand, then we need to reprioritize our spending and,
and be smarter about it, right? Right. And so, but I will say one of the highest costs that is driving just insecurity in California is the cost of housing. So the housing supply, we have not been permitting housing to meet the demands of our growing population, not in decades. And so we have a lot of time that has been, just passed by where we've not been adding new housing supply. And when we don't have the supply, with the limited supply, it drives prices up, both rents and purchase prices. And so we need to just really look at how do we accelerate, right, increasing that housing supply, and how do we look at ways that we can be sure that those units that are being built continue to be affordable. And so those things are about, for me, has to be a public-private partnership. Government is not going to be able to solve the housing crisis by ourselves. But I think through public-private partnerships, working with our business community and working with others who understand that if we don't get our hands around the affordability of housing, it's really going to be an economic drag, for California.
I'm glad you informed us about it because that was one of the questions I was going to. So I'm a planning commissioner for the city I live in.
Yes.
Fullerton, city. I've been the planning commissioner for a few years here.
Yes.
And I know exactly what you're saying. The public and private partnership is probably the solution to this. California, has a humongous problem with the low-income housing. So I, agree with you, and I, appreciate your views on that. Your campaign, I'd like to ask you how, the campaign is doing, how many endorsement and who has endorsed. I mean, I see a lot of endorsement, a lot of support for you. Just a few, if you could just mention, I'd appreciate that.
It's still early yet. This is a 2026 race, and I'm very proud to have the endorsements of many local elected officials, mayors and city council members and members of boards of supervisors and school district members. And I think the reason for that is that I really believe in having a better partnership with our local governments and school districts and how we solve some of these issues. I think the state can really be a driver in terms of creating incentives for things like how do we accelerate housing development and looking at how we can provide incentives in terms of being sure that our schools are well equipped to prepare our young people for the workforce needs of the future. And so that means really having a better relationship with our business community to understand what the career technical opportunities are. So that's why I believe that my relationship over the last 30 plus years with local elected officials has been really instrumental. So that's been where the bulk of my endorsements have been. But having said that, we're running a very different kind of campaign. I always say I never thought I would run for office, but when I decided to do it, my commitment to myself is I'm going to keep one foot in the community and the other foot squarely in the office in which I'm serving. And if they're both moving together, we're probably doing okay in terms of delivering for our community.
you, as you mentioned, you are the daughter of immigrants from China.
Yes.
You grew up in San Francisco area.
I did.
And you have believed in diversity. So if and when you become the Californian governor,
Yes.
What's your perspective regarding diversity in California?
Well, a few things. We have the richness of our diversity is our strength. And we live in an environment now where sometimes I believe people try to use diversity as a tool to threaten and to diminish. And I think we can demonstrate here in California, continue to model just what the strength of diversity is. We're a global economy. As you said, the fifth largest economy in the world.
Right.
We could be doing business with anywhere in the country, in the world. And we have the talent, we have the language capacity, we have the backgrounds. And my big hope in terms of how we can showcase that diversity is in a number of ways. Certainly as governor, I would like to see representatives of our diverse communities in government, in decision-making roles, those who have knowledge of our diverse communities that are really informing the policy decisions that we are making in government is, I think, the most impactful, so that we know that the policies that we are enacting are actually going to have a benefit, right? So the representation is one area. The second is, I really want to facilitate how we are able to understand our own communities better. I think the fact that we are so diverse, sometimes there is not an opportunity just to interface and to interact with communities that are different from ours.
Right.
I'm from the API community. I can say within the API community, we are so diverse in terms of so many cultures, right?
That's right.
And that I'm not, I will say I'm not well-versed on all of them. I'm well-versed on many of them, but not all of them. We have the rich Pakistani culture. I mean, same thing. It's like, how do we showcase and really promote and encourage just the deeper understanding of the wealth of cultures and histories that we have here in California? That's our strength. And I think certainly as governor, I would look to uplift that at every moment that I can.
You have reached out to, in your outreach, you have reached out to all the communities.
Yes.
You have always been, very supportive of diversity.
Yes.
I'd just like to, you have also worked with the Pakistani community, the Muslim community. I'd like to ask your perspective on this particular, I mean, just like any other ethnic community, we have interests and what have you, but how do you find working with the Pakistani and Muslim community in general?
Well, in general, I have a very positive working relationship with these communities. I mean, I think for any community, what I really appreciate is just the values of the community, certainly the culture and the history that informs a lot of what we do as individual members of the community in terms of how we contribute and what we contribute. And so I have had just a great opportunity and privilege of having very, very good relationships with the Muslim community and the Pakistani community. And I know that this is a time where there are forces that try to divide people and perspectives. But I think as a public official, my responsibility is to be sure that everyone lives safely in their communities. And my other responsibility is to be sure that I'm doing everything I can to connect communities together. And if we allow any kind of divisive forces to come in, it makes us all weaker. And this is the beauty of California. That's why people look to California. That's why people all around the world look to California. Not because we are innovative and we are always the first with technological advancements and innovation, but it's the people.
Right.
They scratch their heads and they think, wow, California is so diverse. How do they all get along? How's the economy still keep growing? And it's because of the talent that we have, and I hope we continue to be able to just really honor that. And I think the way that we can honor that is to be sure that the communities are actually meeting one another and really see what they have in common.
Many in the recent president elections, the Republican Party was victorious. Donald Trump is set to be the 47th U.S. president. Not only that, but the Republican Party also secured a majority in the Senate and most likely in the Congress also. And so I would like to ask your perspective on this. What went wrong for the Democratic Party, and what is the way forward?
Sure. I also serve as an officer of our California Democratic Party.
Yes.
And what I will say is that I think California's, our Democratic Party has put the emphasis in the right place in terms of how to engage voters. Our party has been doing what we call year-round organizing for the last 2 election cycles. And why we do that is because we feel that it's very important to keep voters engaged, not always about an election, but really to understand, what are the top issues and priorities for them. To understand the experiences that they're living every day in all parts of California. And that to me has been the most instructive. Now, having said that, I will say that what we saw happen across the country in this election, to me personally, was not a surprise. Was not a surprise. Because we, at every election, we talk about how the everyday bread and butter economic issues is what's
Right.
top of mind for everybody. And I believe that some of the attention was taken away from that because there were so many other social issues.
Right.
Obviously, we have global issues that are affecting populations here in the United States. We have multiple wars that are going on around the world, and so communities are affected here. But when we don't just respond to the basic daily needs that people have, and this is my motivation to run for governor, then how do we all just really improve? And I felt like the Democrats didn't necessarily just kind of keep a steady, kind of pulse on that. And where I saw that, probably the most pronounced, is knocking on doors of union members, labor union members, typically a Democratic constituency. We saw the way it happened in the Midwest and in the Rust Belt, where those who are working for industries who lost their jobs, union members, became much more conservative.
I see.
Because we hit their pocketbook, right? The economy hit their pocketbook. We started seeing it here in California as well. And so I do think we have to get back to talking about how do we make things add up for everyone, not just here in California, and how do we as Democrats really understand that this work has to be done in communities.
Right.
You don't make assumptions, you reach out, you understand what people are actually living, and you also understand how they are coping. I have to hand it to these people who are not getting touched in so many parts of our state. They wake up every day still hopeful and still feeling that they're not necessarily being paid attention to, but they have the wherewithal to continue to provide for themselves and their families. And
But what about California? So California is a blue state.
We are.
And that's not changing. But more and more voters are now not,
Not declaring a party, declaring to stay, yes.
So what do you see the future of a Democratic Party in California?
I think California will always be a Democratic majority state. The issues and values that we care about, and certainly the ways that we have leaned in on becoming leaders on, just our environmental future, looking at how we build our economy, our embrace of immigrants, certainly the reproductive, freedom laws that we have here in California, gun safety. I mean, all of these things we've been just really at the forefront of these issues. So I think from an issue and values perspective, I do feel confident that we will be keeping a Democratic majority. But I just want us to be sanguine about the fact that when it comes to voting, people still think about what's in it for me and my pocketbook and my family. And so as long as we can keep our eye on that and really understand that that's the priority for most people, I think we'll be okay.
I think, what message would you like to send to your constituents in California? If you could look at the camera.
Sure. Well, I am a daughter of immigrants. This is a state that has really provided great opportunities to me and my family. And I think that is really the common immigrant experience here in California. And yet what we know now with just a lot of the economic challenges that we have here in California, my commitment is to be sure that the opportunities that I have the privilege of attaining are there for all Californians. And that this is something we can attain. And I think for all of us who have made California our home, I want to be sure that our stake is deep in the ground, that this is a place that we can continue to call home for our children, for our grandchildren. And I do believe that together, if we're committed to really building and just looking at how we continue to build an economy that can encompass all of us in terms of economic prosperity, if we can look at how we can work together in terms of driving down the cost of living for so many Californians, this will continue to be the place of promise and opportunity. But it's going to be hard work. It's going to be hard work. But this is something I always believe in California. The best asset that we have are our people. and certainly the diversity of our people. So I just never give up hope when it comes to California, because I know that when we're committed to working together, there's nothing that we can't overcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard our talk with Betty Yee, who's running for California governor in 2026. Hope you learned a lot about her views, and so hopefully this was very informative for you. And we wish you Betty good luck. And,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. खुदा हाफिज. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To mark Kashmir Black Day, the Pakistan Consulate in Los Angeles hosted a significant event, bringing together prominent voices from the community. The gathering featured impactful speeches by the Consul General of Pakistan in Los Angeles, Mr. Asim Ali Khan, a member of the California State Assembly, and other distinguished speakers. In a poignant tribute to the struggles in occupied Kashmir, the event included a film screening and an exhibition shedding light on the ongoing atrocities in the occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Leaders from the Kashmiri and American communities were also in attendance, underscoring the event's importance. Deputy Consul General Muhammad Mubashir Khan delivered heartfelt messages from the President and Prime Minister of Pakistan, emphasizing the nation's solidarity with the people of Kashmir. Consul General Khan further inspired the audience with his address. Here is our special report on the event.
I'm very grateful to you, all of you, for being here on a working day to express your solidarity with a cause that is not dear to us, but also it's one of the longest and longest pending issue on the agenda of the United Nations for the last 78 years that's pending. It's not a territorial issue, it's not an issue about the land, it's not about religion only, it is an issue that is about human rights, that's a right to self-determination and fundamental human rights, and that emanated from the partition of Indian subcontinent by the British in 1947. For those who don't know the complete history, I'll just say that there are two issues on the agenda of the United Nations Security Council since 1947 and 48 that await resolution. That is the issue of Jammu and Kashmir and the issue of Palestine. And today we are here to mark a very, very somber occasion on the day 27th October, 77 years ago, when India illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir in clear and stark violation of the United Nations resolution, international norms, and all norms of decency and civil and the method of resolving international conflict through peaceful means. So we gather here today and to express not only our solidarity with the people of Kashmir, but to mark an occasion that we will continue to support and extend our moral and political support and diplomatic support to the people of Indian illegal fight in Kashmir. It's a day that we remember and stand in solidarity with the people. 96,000, as we have seen, have lost their lives, and tens of thousands remain in custody. Tens of thousands of women have been widowed and children orphaned and women molested. So it's a stark reminder to the international community that long-standing suffering endured by the people of Jammu and Kashmir have to come to an end. And we call on international conscience, we call on international community, we call on all countries who stand up for freedom and justice and human rights to come and express their support for the people of Jammu and Kashmir and play their role, whatever you can, like you have come together to express your solidarity, to play their role in whatever capacity you can, to not only raise the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, which seem to be not actually lost, but actually gone in the background because of geopolitical priorities of major countries, especially the powerful countries. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan and United States are long-standing partners and friends. We have worked together in many areas since the establishment of our diplomatic relation in 1947, and worked not only for our common priorities in the region, but internationally. We have worked together for international peace and international security in the region. But unfortunately, this issue still needs and still calls for support from the United States, and as the United States supports other issues in other corners of the world. which relate to either human rights or international peace and security. The statement says the observance of October 27 as Black Day by Kashmiris worldwide reminds us of the complex intersection between territorial disputes and religious freedom. As an organization committed to protecting and promoting religious liberty globally, the American Center for Religious Freedom recognizes the profound implications this ongoing situation has for fundamental human rights and religious expression. The ACRF calls for enhanced international monitoring of religious freedom conditions, protection of religious sites and institutions, support for interfaith dialogue, and ensuring equal rights and protection of religious communities. As we observe this significant day, we must remember that religious freedom is fundamental to human dignity and sustainable peace. The ECRF remains committed to advocating for policies that protect religious liberty and promote mutual understanding among all faith communities in Kashmir and worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, on 3 occasions every year, we stand in solidarity with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. On 5th February, it's a Kashmir Solidarity Day. In July, we stand with the people of Jammu and Kashmir to mark the day when India, 5 years ago, tried to annex Kashmir illegally. And on October 27, Kashmir Black Day. Our support for Kashmir should not be restricted or limited to these 3 days in a year, every year. If it is a matter of principle, if it's a matter of justice, if it is a matter of equality and human rights for all nations, then people of Kashmir need us support and look at us every day. I again thank you for being here today and really appreciate your coming on a weekday for this occasion. And I'm grateful especially to our chief guest, Speaker Emeritus Mr. Randall, and to all of you. So we close this ceremony and thank you very much.
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा.
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.
Assalamu alaikum, Nazreen. Welcome to the Mansuri Show. I'm your host, Arif Zafar Mansuri, and we are very fortunate to have the Executive Board of Friends of Pakistan with us today. So first of all, welcome to you all to our show.
Thank you for having us.
So before I begin, I would like to introduce my esteemed panel. हमारे साथ आज Executive Board of the Friends of Pakistan मौजूद है. जनाब जमाल ख्वाजा साहब यहाँ मौजूद हैं, जो कि एक बहुत प्रोमिनेंट कम्युनिटी मेंबर हैं और ये काइंड होम लोन्स और JFK रियलिटी के ओनर हैं, प्रेसिडेंट CEO हैं. उसके अलावा ये एक फैक्ट्री ओन करते हैं बहुत बड़ी माशाल्लाह इन पाकिस्तान. उसके अलावा इनके कई बिजनेसेस हैं, इनकी रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैं जो कि अमेरिका, श्रीलंका, मलेशिया, पाकिस्तान में मौजूद हैं. उसके अलावा ये पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी के अलावा अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी में भी बहुत इन्वॉल्व हैं. लॉस एंजल्स काउंटी शेरिफ एडवाइजरी काउंसिल के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, पैसिफिक काउंसिल ऑन इंटरनेशनल अफेयर्स के मेंबर हैं. उसके अलावा FBI सिटीजन एकेडमी अलमनाई के लाइफ टाइम मेंबर हैं, कोस्ट गार्ड सिटीजन एकेडमी और बहुत कुछ. इनका पोर्टफोलियो इतना लंबा है कि आज हमारा प्रोग्राम ख़त्म हो जाएगा अगर मैंने पूरा तारुफ कराया. वेलकम टू द शो.
थैंक यू.
उसके बाद हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं जनाब फ़ारूक शेख साहब, जो कि एक बहुत प्रोमिनेंट कम्युनिटी मेंबर हैं, एक बहुत बड़े बिजनेसमैन हैं. ही बिलोंग्स टू द फैमिली दैट रियली is the pioneer of the leather industry in Pakistan. یہ ایک بہت بڑے امپورٹر اینڈ ڈسٹریبیوٹر آف لیدر اینڈ ٹیکسٹائل گڈز ہیں. اس کے علاوہ ان کا ہاسپٹیلٹی مینجمنٹ سے بھی کافی تعلق ہے اور یہ کئی ہوٹلز کی مینجمنٹ بھی یہاں پر کرتے ہیں. اس کے بعد ہمارے ساتھ موجود ہیں ذیل زمان صاحبہ, جو کہ اگین ایک ویری پرومننٹ کمیونٹی ممبر ہیں, prominent businesswoman ہیں. Her and her husband, Misbah Zaman Saab, owned GNC stores, but she herself worked for the Orange County Tax Collector's Office, Orange County Sheriff's Office, and she retired from the Orange County District Attorney Office after working at very high-level positions in Orange County government. اس کے بعد ہمارے ساتھ موجود ہیں عافیہ حسن صاحبہ, جو کہ ایک again very prominent community member. She is the owner of Hifza Healthcare, which is a large importer and distributor, wholesale distributor of healthcare products from Pakistan. She is also educator. She teaches cryptocurrency. اس کے علاوہ ان کا بہت بڑا ٹک ٹاک فالوئنگ ہے, millions of fans on TikTok along with the YouTube and other social media. پھر ہمارے ساتھ موجود ہیں ہماری ایک بہت ہی پرومیننٹ کمیونٹی ممبر. شی از آلسو اے بزنس وومن, ہیز ریئل اسٹیٹ انویسٹمنٹس اینڈ دا ہولڈنگس آل اوور. اس کے علاوہ یہ ایک ٹیچر بھی ہیں, اور اس کے علاوہ شی از ون آف دا موور شیکرز آف دا کمیونٹی ہو probably in my opinion knows more of the community of Pakistani community here than anybody else that I know. So I would like to welcome you all to our show today. میں اپنا بھی لگے ہاتھوں تھوڑا سا تعارف کراتا چلوں. میرا نام عارف ظفر منصوری, آئی ایم دا ہوسٹ آف دا منصوری شو. اس کے علاوہ میں جو ہے ہمارے بہت ہی پاپولر پاکستانی امریکن USA بیسڈ نیوز پیپرز پاکستان لنک ان انگلش اینڈ اردو لنک ان اردو کا اونر ہوں. میرا پاکستانی کمیونٹی کے ساتھ تعلق جو ہے آئی بین ایکٹیو فار مینی ایئرس, بٹ ایز فار ایز دا US community goes, I'm the planning commissioner for the city I live in, the Fullerton Planning Commission. I'm also board of trustee of the Orange County World Affair Council, member of the Pacific Council on International Affairs, several things, and I'm also member of the Los Angeles County Sheriff Advisory Council, and I'm also the chairman of Friends of Pakistan. So آئیے آج کے سوالات کا آغاز کرتے ہیں. جناب جمال خواجہ صاحب, آپ پریزیڈنٹ ہیں فرینڈز آف پاکستان کے. میں چاہوں گا کہ آپ یہ بتائیے کہ what is فرینڈ آف پاکستان, آپ کے منشور کیا ہے, آپ کے اغراض و مقاصد کیا ہیں؟
ضرور. سب سے پہلے تو عارف صاحب, تھینک یو ویری مچ فار ہیونگ اس ٹوڈے, اینڈ اٹس این آنر ٹو بی ان یور شو, اینڈ آئی ایم ریئلی پلیزڈ اینڈ ہیپی ٹو بی ہیئر. اینڈ دا کویسچن وچ یو ہیو آسکڈ می, روزانہ ہی بیسس پہ مجھ سے یہ سوال پوچھا جاتا ہے کہ فرینڈز آف پاکستان کیا ہے. ایز اٹ ساؤنڈس, وی آر جسٹ سمپلی فرینڈز آف پاکستان. ہم پاکستان کے لوگوں کے لیے کام کرنا چاہتے ہیں. جیسے ہم پہلے بھی بتا چکے ہیں, وی ہیو نو انٹرسٹ ان پالیٹکس, ریلیجن. ہمارا صرف ایک ہی انٹرسٹ ہے کہ پاکستان کے لوگوں کو فیسلیٹیٹ کریں بزنس کے اندر, اور جو پاکستان ہم یہاں دیکھتے ہیں جس میں آپ میں سب موجود ہیں, اس پاکستانی کمیونٹی کو یہاں پہ اسٹرانگ کریں. جو ریسورسز اویلیبل ہیں ہمیں ایز امریکن سٹیزن, اس کو ہم لوگوں تک پہنچائیں. جو بزنس ہے, سوشل ہے, بہت ساری چیزیں ہیں, آپ جانتے ہی ہیں. تو ہم چاہتے ہیں کہ اس کو ایک ایسے پلیٹ فارم کے اوپر لایا جائے جس میں ہمارے جو پاکستانی امریکن ہیں, جن کو بہت ساری چیزیں نہیں معلوم, ان کو اس چیز کا پتہ چلے.
بہت بہت شکریہ جمال خان صاحب, آپ نے بہت اچھا ایکسپلین کیا فرینڈ آف پاکستان کا. اور میں یہاں پہ یہ بھی کہتا چلوں کہ پاکستان, فرینڈ آف پاکستان بہت تیزی سے گرو ہو رہی ہے. وی ہیو ایکسپینڈیڈ tremendously over the last 2 years or so. اور میں آپ کے پاس دوبارہ آؤں گا اور مزید اس کے بارے میں پوچھوں گا. میں چاہوں گا فاروق شیخ صاحب آپ سے پوچھنا کہ آپ بزنس اینڈ کامرس ایڈوائزری کاؤنسل آف فرینڈ آف پاکستان کے ہیڈ ہیں. تو ہمیں آپ کے جو what is it that your council does?
So basically میرا کام ہے بیسیکلی امریکن پاکستانی کمیونٹی جو یہاں پر ہے ان کو ایڈوائز کرنے کے لیے بزنس کے اندر, تاکہ ہم انہیں ہیلپ کر سکیں گرو کرنے میں, ان کی بزنس پروموشنس میں, اور ان کو فیسیلیٹ کرنے کے لیے یہاں پر. اور ہماری کوشش یہ ہے کہ ہم ٹریڈ اینڈ کامرس کے اندر بھی انہیں انٹرلنک کریں پاکستان کے ساتھ بھی, تاکہ انہیں آسانی ہو بزنس اور ٹریڈ کو پروموٹ کرنے کے لیے. سو بیسیکلی دیٹس آور گول.
تھینک یو سو مچ. میں اس زمن میں یہ بھی کہتا چاہوں کہ ہم نے جو کہ فرینڈ آف پاکستان ہے اس کا جو پاکستان کے ساتھ تعلق ہے وہ ٹریڈ اینڈ کامرس کے حوالے سے ہے. ہمارے منشور میں یہ بالکل واضح ہے, جیسے پریزیڈنٹ جمال خواجہ صاحب نے بھی فرمایا کہ ہم پاکستان کے حوالے سے نہ تو ہم پالیٹکس میں ان کے انوالوڈ ہیں, نہ پاورٹی ایلیویشن, نہ ایجوکیشن, کئی چیزیں ہیں, لیکن ہم صرف ٹریڈ اینڈ کامرس پہ ہمارا جو ہے وہ کانسنٹریشن ہے ود پاکستان. آف کورس ود پاکستانی امیریکن اٹس اے ٹوٹل ڈفرنٹ تھنگ. وی آر انوالوڈ ان ایوری ایسپیکٹ آف دا کمیونٹیز نیڈز اینڈ ریکوائرمنٹس. تو نیکسٹ اپ ضلع ہما زمان صاحبہ, میں آپ سے معلوم کرنا چاہوں گا, آپ جو ہیں وہ ایونٹ اینڈ پلاننگ ایڈوائزری کونسل کی ہیڈ ہیں, تو آپ کی کونسل ایڈوائزری کونسل کے کیا جو ہیں وہ منشور ہے؟
We want to make sure کہ جو بھی فرینڈ آف پاکستان کے مقصد ہیں, مقاصد ہیں, جیسے کمیونٹی کو یونائٹڈ کریں سوشل ایونٹ کے ذریعے, سیمینار کے ذریعے, مختلف چیزوں کا, تو وہ یہ آلویز میک شیور کہ ہم انہیں ریسورسفل مطلب ان کے ریسورسز پرووائڈ کریں اور ان کے جو مین مقصد ہیں اس کو پروموٹ کریں. اور سارا جیسے ہم ڈپینڈ یہ کرتے ہیں کہ پاکستان اور امریکہ کی یہ ہالیڈیز ہیں, انڈیپینڈنس ڈیز ہیں, 23 مارچ ہے, بزنس سیمینار ہیں, اور یہ اسمال بزنس کی ہم پروموشن کرتے ہیں, وہاں پہ برنچ وغیرہ کرتے ہیں. تو میری کمیٹی آلویز میک شیور کہ وی پرووائڈ آل دوز ٹولز اینڈ ریسورسز ٹو فرینڈ آف پاکستان اینڈ میک اے اسموتھ رن آف آل دوز تھنگز.
Every one of you is very commendable, but میں مینشن کرنا چاہوں گا اس موقع پہ کہ آپ کے جو ٹیم ہے they've organized in 2024, this year, it's not over yet, 17 major public events in just this one year. تو that's a major accomplishment. اور اس میں ایسی ایونٹس ہیں جس میں پاکستان انڈیپینڈنس ڈے ہے جو کہ ہزاروں لوگوں نے اٹینڈ کیا, پھر یو ایس انڈیپینڈنس ڈے ہزاروں لوگوں نے اس کو اٹینڈ کیا. ہم آپ کی کمیٹی نے ہمارے جو ایمبیسڈر صاحب کرنٹ ہیں ان کا جو ہے ان کے ساتھ ایف او پی کا ایک ایکسکلوسیو ڈنر ارینج کیا. اس کے علاوہ جو پاسٹ ہمارے ایمبیسڈر تھے مسعود خان صاحب, ان کے ساتھ بھی ڈنر آرگنائز کیا. تو the work that you guys have done is really commendable. I my hat off to you. Next up we have Afia Hassan صاحبہ. آپ جو ہیں وہ کمیونیکیشن اینڈ میڈیا کی ایڈوائزری کونسل کی ہیڈ ہیں, تو میں چاہوں گا کہ آپ ہمیں آپ کی کمیٹی کے بارے میں بتائیے.
جی بالکل, ہماری کمیٹی جو ہے وہ کام کرتی ہے سوشل میڈیا کے اوپر, بیکاز آپ کو پتہ ہے آج کل سوشل میڈیا کا ٹائم ہے. مارکیٹنگ اور ہر جو چیز ہوتی ہے وہ جتنی میڈیا کے تھرو لوگوں میں پھیلتی ہے اتنی جلدی جو نہیں کوئی زیادہ کوئی وہ ہے نہیں. تو ہم یہاں پہ اپنے ایونٹس کو پروموٹ کرتے ہیں فیس بک پہ, ٹک ٹاک کے اوپر, اور سارا سوشل میڈیا وہ ہمارے انڈر میں ہوتا ہے جو ہم ایف او پی کے لیے کام کرتے ہیں. اور جتنے بھی اپ کمنگ ایونٹ ہوتے ہیں وہ ہم اپنے میڈیا پیج پہ ڈالتے ہیں. اور یہاں پہ ایک اور چیز یہ ہے کہ ہماری کمیونٹی میں اگر کوئی واقعی میں کوئی بہت اچھا کام کر رہا ہے تو ہم ان کو بھی پروموٹ کرتے ہیں. اس سے یہ نہیں ہوتا کہ ایف او پی کا ہی وہ ممبر ہوگا تو ہم اس کو پروموٹ کریں گے. کوئی بھی اگر کمیونٹی میں بہت اچھا کام کر رہا ہے تو ہم اس کو اپنے پیج پہ لے کے آتے ہیں اور کمیونٹی کو بتاتے ہیں.
نیکسٹ اپ آئی ہیو عابدہ احمد صاحبہ جو کہ ایڈوائزری کونسل آن ممبرشپ کی ہیڈ ہیں. آپ کا جو ہے وہ جو کمیٹی ہے ایڈوائزری کمیٹی ہے, واٹ از دا رول آف یور کمیٹی؟
جی سب سے پہلے تو عارف بھائی آپ کا بہت بہت شکریہ یہاں بلانے کا. اور ہمارا کام یہ ہوتا ہے ایف او پی میں, ویسے تو ہم سب مل جل کے کام کرتے ہیں, لیکن ممبرشپ میں ہمارا یہ ہے کہ ہم زیادہ سے زیادہ ممبر بنانا چاہتے ہیں تاکہ ساری پاکستانی کمیونٹی کے لوگ جو ہیں ہم مل کے کام کریں, ہمارے پروگراموں میں آئیں, ہم کو سپورٹ کریں. اور امریکہ میں رہ کے ہم نے یہاں ایک منی پاکستان بنایا ہوا ہے جس میں ماشاء اللہ ہمارے پاس 250 کے قریب ممبرس ہو گئے ہیں. تو بہت اچھا لگتا ہے, بہت پروگرام ہوتے ہیں, اور ہم چاہتے ہیں کہ اور لوگ ہم کو جوائن کریں تاکہ ہم سب مل جل کے کام کریں.
بہت بہت شکریہ. جمال خان صاحب, عابدہ احمد صاحبہ نے مینشن کیا کہ ایف او پی یا فرینڈ آف پاکستان کے 250 ممبر ماشاء اللہ ابھی ہیں, اور آپ کے کئی چیپٹرز ہیں جو کہ ایکٹیو. میں چاہوں گا کہ آپ ہمیں ذرا سا اس کے بارے میں بتائیے کہ کتنے چیپٹر کھل چکے ہیں اور کتنے جو ہیں وہ آپ نے پلان کیے ہوئے ہیں ان دا نیئر فیوچر.
جی عارف بھائی, پلان تو نہیں کیا ہوا ایز سچ, بٹ اللہ از گریٹ. ہم نے جب یہ اسٹارٹ کیا تھا فرینڈز آف پاکستان تو ہم 14 لوگ تھے, اینڈ یہ تو ایسا نہیں ہے کہ کوئی بہت سالوں پرانی بات ہے. ابھی کی بات ہے کہ بہت کچھ دن پہلے ہم نے ایک تصویر لگائی تھی جس میں میں اور ضلع ہما آبدہ آپ فروخ بھائی ہم سب بیٹھے ہیں اس میں. ہم 14 لوگ تھے. آج جیسا میری بہن نے کہا آبدہ نے کہ ہم 250 لوگ ہیں. ہمارا ایک چیپٹر سیکرامنٹو میں کھل گیا ہے جو کہ بہت ایکٹیو ہے. آپ جانتے ہی ہیں کہ سیکرامنٹو میں پاکستانی امریکن کی ایک بہت پرومیننٹ پرسنٹیج وہاں پہ رہتی ہے اور بہت ساری آرگنائزیشنز ہیں وہاں پہ اور بہت اچھا کام کر رہی ہے. بٹ اس کے باوجود being a new person on the block, Friends of Pakistan has taken a total different shape. ہمیں سب سے زیادہ لوگ جو اس وقت نئے لوگ جوائن کر رہے ہیں وہ سیکرامنٹو ایریا سے ہے. نیکسٹ ایئر انشاءاللہ we will be opening more than 20 more chapters.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, we have starting from New York to Texas, Houston, Dallas, اٹلانٹا. کانسٹنٹلی ہمیں لوگ کانٹیکٹ کر رہے ہیں. دا پوائنٹ از کہ ہمارا منشور بڑا سمپل ہے اور لوگوں کو ٹچ کرتا ہے, لوگوں کو اچھی لگتی ہے یہ بات کہ ہم کسی پولیٹیکل اس میں نہیں جا رہے, ہم کوئی اسکول نہیں بنا رہے جیسا آپ نے کریکٹلی کہا. ہمارا بڑا سمپل سا فارمولا ہے اور ہمارا زیادہ فوکس جو ہے وہ پاکستانی امریکن کے اوپر ہے. جو پاکستانی امریکن یہاں رہ رہے ہیں ان کے لیے ہم کیا ریسورسز لا رہے ہیں. تو بائی دا گریس آف گاڈ ہم بہت تیزی سے بڑھ رہے ہیں. میرا ایک گیسٹیمیشن ہے کہ مے بی 2025 میں وی ول کراس مور دین 3000 ممبرس انشاءاللہ. اینڈ آپ کے اس میڈیم سے میں ریکویسٹ کروں گا جہاں جہاں جس بھی جگہ امریکہ کے اندر اس کو دیکھا جا رہا ہے, آپ کا پروگرام بہت پاپولر پروگرام ہے, ہر لوگ دیکھتے ہیں. بلکہ میں تو یوں کہوں گا کہ ویری ایجوکیٹ آدمی کو بہت کچھ سمجھ میں آتا ہے کہ امریکہ کے اندر کیا ہو رہا ہے. آپ کے خاص طور پہ سوال بہت اچھے ہوتے ہیں. جہاں بھی اس پروگرام کو دیکھا جا رہا ہے میں ان سے ریکویسٹ کروں گا کہ جی ضرور آپ ہماری ویب سائٹ پہ جائیں, جا کے دیکھیں, ہمارا ایجنڈا وہاں لگا ہوا ہے. اور آپ جانتے ہی ہیں بار بار اسٹارٹنگ فرام دا کونسلٹ جنرل اسپیشلی ایمبیسڈر صاحب, ہمارے ایمبیسڈر صاحب نے 2 مرتبہ ہم سے کہا اور ایک پبلک فورم پہ کہا کہ جی جو فرینڈز آف پاکستان کا منشور ہے وہ سب کا منشور ہونا چاہیے. جتنی آرگنائزیشنز ہیں پاکستانی یہاں آپریٹ کر رہی ہیں دے شوڈ لک انٹو اٹ. تو ہم ضرور آپ کے میڈیم سے لوگوں سے ریکویسٹ کریں گے. ہماری ممبرشپ کی وائس پریزیڈنٹ بھی یہاں موجود ہے. تو آپ لوگ پلیز ہمیں لک اس اپ اور دیکھیں کہ اگر آپ ہمیں جوائن کرنا چاہتے ہیں, اف یو ہیو اینی ریزرویشن, اینی کوسچنس, وی آر رائٹ ہیئر فار دیٹ. تھینک یو.
صاحب میں یہ معلوم کرنا چاہوں گا, آپ نے بہت صحیح فرمایا کہ اس میں جو ممبرشپ ہے وہ بہت ایزی ہے. آپ کا ممبر جو ہے کیا دے ہیو ٹو بی بورن ان پاکستان ٹو بیکم اے ممبر؟
نہیں, ایسا کچھ نہیں ہے, بیکاز ہمارا نام جو ہے وہی ریپرزینٹ کرتا ہے فرینڈز آف پاکستان. اگر آپ سسلی میں پیدا ہوئے ہیں, کہیں بھی پیدا ہوئے ہیں, آپ انڈونیشیا میں پیدا ہوئے ہیں, ایز لانگ یو ہیو سمپتھی فار پاکستان, you want to do something for Pakistani community, you are more than welcome to join us. ہاں یہ ضرور ہے کہ ہمارے ایک جو ہمارا بائی لاز ہے اس کے اندر ایک ریسٹرکشن ہے ہماری کہ ہم کوشش کریں گے کہ جو ہمارے سینئر ایگزیکٹوز ہیں وہ ضرور بورن ان پاکستان ہوں.
بہت شکریہ جمال صاحب. فاروق شیخ صاحب, آپ کا جو بزنس اینڈ کامرس ایڈوائزری کاؤنسل ہے, آپ کے فیوچر پلانز کیا ہیں اس کو لے کے؟ کیا مطلب آپ جو ہے مجھے جیسے میرے علم میں کہ آپ سیمینارز ارینج کرتے ہیں, آپ جو ہے وہ نیٹ ورکنگ کی اپرچونیٹیز پرووائڈ کرتے ہیں, یو پرووائڈ لیزان بٹوین جسٹ لائک اے چیمبر آف کامرس, یو ایکٹ ایز اے لیزان بٹوین دا انٹرسٹڈ پارٹیز ہو وانٹ ٹو ڈو بزنس. تو مجھے ذرا یہ اس کے بارے میں آپ کے فیوچر پلانز اس حوالے سے کیا ہیں؟
اس میں ہماری کوشش اب یہ ہے کہ ہم جتنے بھی بزنس کمیونٹی ہے امریکن پاکستانیز, ان کو ہم کسی طریقے سے بھی ایجوکیٹ کریں جس بھی میں ان کو ضرورت ہے گائیڈ لائن کی. اور جو لوگ اپنے نئے بزنس سٹارٹ کرنا چاہتے ہیں انہیں ہم ایڈوائز کریں, انہیں بتائیں, انہیں بھی پروموٹ کرنے کی کوشش کریں اور ان کو जो है जिस भी शोबे से उनका ताल्लुक है उसके अंदर उन्हें मैक्सिमम इंफॉर्मेशन अदा करें.
So that is leads me to the my next question. ज़िले-हुमा ज़मान साहब, आप इवेंट एंड प्लानिंग की हेड हैं. मैं आपसे मालूम करना चाहूँगा, पहले तो ये बताइए कि आप जो है चंद इवेंट्स जो हैं वो सिग्नेचर इवेंट्स हैं दैट फ्रंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान डज एवरी ईयर. उसके अलावा तो जो बहुत सारी इवेंट्स हैं, लेकिन चंद इवेंट्स हैं जो कि हमारी सिग्नेचर इवेंट्स हैं एंड सम वी एक्चुअली इन्वेंटेड, नोबडी डिड दैट बिफोर अस. तो ज़रा उनके बारे में बताइए. जैसे आपका यूएस इंडिपेंडेंस डे है, हमारे से पहले कोई जो है वो नहीं करता था. तो बड़ा मेहरबानी हमारे नाज़रीन के साथ ये शेयर कीजिए.
जैसे आपने कहा कि ये 4 जुलाई जो सा है अमेरिका का, हम लोग पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी में ये पहले सेलिब्रेट नहीं किया जाता था बड़े पैमाने पे. जॉब वॉब पे हम लोग छोटे मोटे करते थे, लेकिन यू आर द फर्स्ट वन, फ्रेंड ऑफ पाकिस्तान एक्चुअली फर्स्ट वन. हमने बहुत बड़ा जो सा पहला शेराटन में किया था, उसमें बहुत बड़े बड़े सारे कांग्रेसमैन
जी बिल्कुल
ये सब लोग आए थे. और उसमें हमने दोनों अमेरिकन कल्चर एंड पाकिस्तानी कल्चर शो किए थे. डांसेस थे, स्पीचेस थी एंड पीपल लव इट. मेरी जॉब से भी लोग आए थे एंड दे रियली लाइक इट, क्योंकि हम लोग अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी में दोनों को, उनको भी हमने शामिल करना है, बताना है कि हम पाकिस्तानी कैसे क्या है, अपने कल्चर को इंट्रोड्यूस करवाना है. और एक और चीज़ इसमें जो है कि हमारे बच्चे यहाँ पैदा हुए हैं, यहीं पे वो सब हैं. तो इन शो के ज़रिए पाकिस्तान इंडिपेंडेंस डे 4 जुलाई हम अपना कल्चर अपने बच्चों को ट्रांसफ़र कर रहे हैं. हम उनको एम्पावर कर रहे हैं कि वो पाकिस्तानी कल्चर को अंडरस्टैंड करें. और फिर ये जैसे हम लोगों ने ये 23 मार्च है इंडिपेंडेंस डे, ये तो हमारे ट्रेडमार्क है, हम बहुत अरसे से 10-15 साल से कर रहे हैं और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वेरी सक्सेसफुल. एंड पीपल आर वेटिंग, दे ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट आस्किंग कि इस साल हम कहाँ कर रहे हैं, किधर कर रहे हैं. उसके अलावा भी हमने और चीज़ें जैसे आपने कहा शुरू की. हमने ब्रंच, ये स्मॉल रेस्टोरेंट, स्मॉल बिजनेस ऑनर्स की हेल्प के लिए शुरू किया, उनको प्रमोट करने के लिए किया. और फिर ये जैसे बिजनेस कम्युनिटी के इनके सेमिनार हैं. फिर ये और भी हमने यहाँ पे मीडिया का जलसा था, उनका हमने किया कि पीपल दे विल कम एंड आस्क क्वेश्चन, कि कई चीज़ें हैं हम यहाँ पे रहते हैं और हमें नहीं पता, हमारे बच्चों को नहीं पता. तो वो काफ़ी इंफॉर्मेटिव क्लासेस हैं, सेमिनार हैं, तो हम वो सारे जो उनसे अरेंज करते हैं. फिर उसके अलावा पाकिस्तान से हम वहाँ से आर्टिस्ट को और पोइट्स को बुलाते हैं, उनको प्लेटफॉर्म मुहैया करते हैं जहाँ पे वो अपने टैलेंट का वो करते हैं मुजाहरा और ऑडियंस को एंटरटेन करते हैं, विच इज़ अनदर वे टू प्रमोट पाकिस्तान और पाकिस्तान की हेरिटेज. तो अभी फ्यूचर में भी माशाल्लाह हमारे काफ़ी प्लान हैं. हम लोगों के ऑलरेडी हम लोग 26-27 तो कर चुके हैं और अब ऑलरेडी हम लोग जो उनसे हैं मेरा ख्याल 10-15 तो 2025 के ऑलरेडी इन लाइन एंड वी विल इन्फॉर्म यू अबाउट ऑल दिस प्रोग्राम्स.
आफिया हसन साहब, आप का जो एरिया है वो मीडिया एंड कम्युनिकेशन है, लेकिन आप एक प्रोग्राम है जो कि अपकमिंग है हमारा, जो कि अवार्ड नाइट है. मैं चाहूँगा कि आप ज़रा उसकी तफसील बताइए वेरी ब्रीफली कि वो क्या है और उसके लिए आप लोग क्या प्लान कर रहे हैं.
जी बिल्कुल, हमने अभी से मार्केटिंग स्टार्ट कर दी है इसकी, और ये हमारा इंशाल्लाह इसकी डेट हम जल्दी अनाउंस करेंगे. और लोग जो है, क्योंकि हमने ऑलरेडी सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर इसको पोस्ट कर दिया, लोग हमसे पूछ रहे हैं कि कहाँ पे हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, क्या आप लोग कर रहे हैं, आपकी एक्टिविटी क्या है और इसमें हम क्या करने वाले हैं. तो ये क्योंकि अवार्ड सेरेमनी इसके नाम से आपको पता है, तो हम अवार्ड देंगे. और इसके अलावा बहुत सारा फन होगा इसमें, बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट होंगे. हमने पाकिस्तान से भी आर्टिस्ट बुलाए हैं, कुछ हमारे लोकल आर्टिस्ट भी जो आप लोग को एंटरटेन करेंगे. तो लोगों को बड़ी शिद्दत से इंतजार है कि कभी वो हमसे पूछते जी आप टिकट कितने का दे रहे हैं. तो ये सब चीज़ें अभी हमारी टीम जो है वो डिसाइड कर रही है कि वेन्यू हमारा क्या होगा. बट इंशाल्लाह बहुत जल्दी हम अपनी आवाम के लिए, अपनी कम्युनिटी के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा सा प्रोग्राम लेकर आएंगे इंशाल्लाह.
नहीं, बहुत खूब. और वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट कि फ्रेंड ऑफ पाकिस्तान के तमाम प्रोग्राम नहायत कामयाब होते रहें और इंशाल्लाह ये भी एक कामयाब प्रोग्राम होगा.
जी आरिफ भाई, ये इस प्रोग्राम के हवाले से और इनके ग्रुप के हवाले से मैं ज़रूर कुछ और ऐड कर दूं. इनका बहुत ही यूनिक रोल है. हमारी जो मीडिया और कम्युनिकेशन एडवाइजरी है, ये कॉन्स्टेंटली हम सबों को इन्फॉर्म करते रहते हैं कि हो क्या रहा है, पाकिस्तान में क्या हो रहा है, अमेरिका के अंदर क्या हो रहा है. हमारा न्यूज़ लेटर निकलता है जो कि बहुत पॉपुलर है और बहुत सारे लोग उसे पढ़ते हैं. یہ کانسٹنٹلی فیس بک کے اوپر آپ کو, فیس بک, انسٹاگرام اور ٹک ٹاک کے اوپر آپ کو ایکٹیو رکھتے ہیں, کانسٹنٹلی انگیج رکھتے ہیں. پوری پاکستانی کمیونٹی کو معلوم ہو رہا ہوتا ہے کہ جی آج کہاں گئے, کہاں آئے, کیونکہ آپ کو پتہ ہے کہ فرینڈز آف پاکستان صرف اپنے ایونٹس نہیں بلکہ بہت سارے جو دوسرے ایونٹس ہوتے ہیں ان کو بھی پروموٹ کرتے ہیں.
ایسا ہی ہے,
بیکاز وی فیل لائک وی آر آل ون بگ فیملی,
جس کمیونٹی,
اٹس اے کمیونٹی, تو ہم اس کو بھی پروموٹ کرتے ہیں. ان کے بھی ہماری جو میڈیا اور کمیونیکیشن ایڈوائزری ہے یہ بھی کافی بڑی ہے, اور اس کے اندر بڑے سلیکٹو اور ایسے لوگ ہیں جو ہماری سعدیہ سہیل ہیں وہ ان کو ہیڈ کرتی ہیں. ون آف دی ویری ایجوکیٹڈ وومن, ماشاء اللہ انہوں نے جرنلزم میں بھی پڑھا ہوا ہے, میرے خیال ہے شی ڈیڈ ہر ماسٹرز ان دیٹ, اینڈ شی از اے ویری ٹیلنٹڈ وومن. بسائڈز میں تو حیران ہوتا ہوں کہ یہ سارے لوگ اپنے ڈے ٹو ڈے چورس کے علاوہ اور بہت ساری چیزوں کے علاوہ اتنا سارا ٹائم فرینڈز آف پاکستان کو نکال کے دیتے ہیں. ایوارڈ نائٹ کے حساب سے میں تھوڑا سا آپ کو یہاں اپڈیٹ کرتا چلوں. ایوارڈ نائٹ ہمارا ایک بالکل ہی یونیک قسم کا پروگرام ہونے والا ہے انشاءاللہ. اس میں ڈیٹ میں ہم تھوڑی سی چینجز کر رہے ہیں, وینیو, اینڈ آف کورس ایز عافیہ کریکٹلی سیٹ کہ ہم پاکستان سے بھی آرٹسٹ بلوا رہے ہیں. یہ وہ ایک ایسی سیرمنی نہیں ہوگی جہاں پہ کانسٹنٹلی 10 لوگوں کو اوارڈ دیے جا رہے ہوں گے. دس از مور لائک اے انٹرٹینمنٹ. ناؤ وی آر مور لوکنگ ٹاکنگ ٹو آور ایگزیکٹو کمیٹی دیٹ وی ول مے بی پٹ دس پروگرام ٹوگیدر ود عید فنکشن ایز ویل. سو ویل بی ایبل ٹو لائک پٹ سم تھنگ ان بٹوین ٹائم جہاں پہ ہم عید اور اس سیرمنی کو ساتھ کریں گے. اور آپ یقین کریں کہ اس کو اتنا خوبصورتلی ڈیزائن کیا گیا ہے کہ دس ول بی مور لائک اے انٹرٹینمنٹ. آپ آئیں گے, ایسا نہیں ہے کہ جی کانسٹنٹلی 4 لوگوں کو اوارڈ مل رہا ہے تو باقی لوگ بیٹھ کے صرف تالی بجا رہے ہیں, ایسا کچھ نہیں ہوگا. ویل ہیو لاٹ آف فوک میوزک, فوک ڈانسز اینڈ کامیڈی اینڈ اے ویری میں نام نہیں بتانا چاہتا لیکن اے ویری پرومیننٹ سنگر فرام پاکستان انشاءاللہ. سو یو گائز ول ہیو ریئلی اے گریٹ ٹائم. اور ہم لوگ سب بہت ایکسائٹیڈ ہیں, ہماری پوری ٹیم بہت ایکسائٹیڈ ہے کہ یہ پروگرام جو ہے وہ بالکل ہی یونیک ہے, اس سے پہلے ہم نے بھی نہیں کیا ہے. تو انشاءاللہ ایوری ون از گوئنگ ٹو انجوائے دس ایونٹ.
بہت شکریہ جمال صاحب. عبدہ صاحب, میں آپ سے معلوم کرنا چاہوں گا, آپ آف کورس ممبرشپ ایڈوائزری کاؤنسل کی ہیڈ ہیں, لیکن میں آپ سے معلوم کرنا چاہوں گا آپ پرسنلی ایک جو اپ کمنگ پروگرام ہے اس کو ہیڈ کر رہی ہیں جو کہ ہمارا 23 مارچ کے حوالے سے پروگرام ہے. تو کیا آپ اس کے بارے میں کچھ ہمیں بتائیں گے پلیز؟
سب سے پہلے تو میں بتاتی چلوں کہ آڈینس کو کہ آپ کی جمال بھائی کی گائیڈنس میں ہم لوگ یہ سارے ضلع ہما, عافیہ, سعدیہ, میں, درخشاں, ڈاکٹر یاسمین, سب لوگ, ہم پوری ٹیم ہم لوگ مل کے کام کرتے ہیں. اور ہمیں ایک رول تو دیا گیا ہے لیکن یہ کہ مل کے ہم سارے کام کرتے ہیں بیسکلی. اور ابھی ہمارا جو ایونٹ ہونے والا ہے 23 مارچ کا, جو کہ ماشاءاللہ رمضان میں آ رہا ہے اس دفعہ, تو مطلب ہمارا 23 مارچ بھی ہوگا کولیبریشن ود کانسلیٹ. اٹس گونا بی اے آفیشیل پروگرام, اور اس میں ہم روزہ افطار بھی کروائیں گے اور بہت اچھا وہ پروگرام ہوگا. اور ہم سب مل کے کام کرتے ہیں ان سب پروگراموں کے لیے. تو جب کو ہماری ضرورت ہوتی ہے تو ہم ان کے لیے حاضر ہوتے ہیں, جب ان کو ہماری ہوتی ہے تو ہم سب لائک وی آر اے ویری گریٹ ٹیم
ویری گڈ ٹیم.
ہاں, ایک ہم نے بنائے ہوئے تو ہیں یہ سب رولز, لیکن یہ کہ ماشاءاللہ جب جس کو ضرورت ہوتی ہے ہم سب مل کے بڑے کوآپریٹیولی ایک دوسرے کے ساتھ کام کرتے ہیں, اور بہت اچھی ٹیم ہے. اور آپ نے جمال بھائی نے ہمیں بڑا کانفیڈنس دیا ہوا ہے, اور ہم ماشاءاللہ سے بڑے سکسیزفلی پروگرام کر رہے ہیں
ماشاءاللہ. دس از not just an organization, but it's really a family. We all, have such interactions with each other, relationship with each other, just a very close-knit family. We are all, support each other and are there for each other. جمال خان صاحب, میں آخر میں آپ سے معلوم کرنا چاہوں گا, فرینڈ آف پاکستان کے حوالے سے کمیونٹی کو کیا میسج دینا چاہیں گے؟ آپ کا جو میسج جو آپ نے دیا ویری کلیئر ہے کہ آپ کا منشور ہے صرف پاکستان,
صرف پاکستان.
تو میں چاہوں گا کہ ہماری کمیونٹی کو آپ کیا میسج دینا چاہیں گے؟
جی ضرور. میں کمیونٹی میسج سے پہلے ہماری جو بہن ہے عابدہ, ان کے بارے میں ایک اور بات بتاتا چلوں آپ کو کہ وہ ہماری جنرل سیکرٹری بھی ہیں. ایکچولی شی از دا بیک بون, اور شی از اے ویری ہمبل پرسن, اور تو اس کی وجہ سے وہ خود کچھ نہیں بتاتی, لیکن ہمارے جتنے ایونٹس ہوتے ہیں اس کو بغیر عابدہ کے مشورے کے تو وہ ہو ہی نہیں سکتے.
صحیح ہے.
میرا میسج بہت سمپل ہے ہماری پوری पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी के लिए यहाँ पे कि जी हम अगर अकेले होंगे तो दूर तक नहीं जा पाएंगे, अगर हम साथ मिल जाएंगे वी कैन डू वंडर्स। आइए हमें ज्वाइन कीजिए। आप देख सकते हैं कि 250 लोगों ने मुश्किल से 1 साल के अंदर हमें ज्वाइन किया है। उनके भी वही सवाल हैं, वही रिजर्वेशंस हैं जो आपकी हैं या आपके जहन में है। हमारा सिर्फ एक ही मकसद है, सिर्फ पाकिस्तान। हम फोकस करते हैं पाकिस्तान के ऊपर, हम पाकिस्तान का अच्छा चाहते हैं। और जब मैं पाकिस्तान कहता हूं तो मैं ये वाले पाकिस्तान को मेंशन कर रहा हूं जो यहाँ पे है, हमारे बच्चे यहाँ पे, हमारे लोग यहाँ पे। हम चाहते हैं कि वो लोग जिनको किसी तरह की भी तकलीफ है यहाँ पे रहने में भी, वो भी हमें आके बताएं और हम देखेंगे कि उनको क्या रिसोर्सेज प्रोवाइड कर पा सकते हैं हम। तो विद दैट कि जी हमारा सिर्फ एक ही मकसद है, वी आर नॉट इन पॉलिटिक्स। हमारे अंदर पॉलिटिक्स नहीं है, हमारे अंदर वैसे तो ज़रूर हमारे चेयरमैन साहब आरिफ मंसूरी हैं और मैं नाम का प्रेसिडेंट हूँ, लेकिन मेरी बिलीव है एंड दिस इज़ व्हाट आई मीन कि हर मेंबर ऑफ फ्रेंड्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान इज़ द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ फ्रेंड्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जमाल ख्वाजा साहब और द एंटायर पैनल। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस। ख्वातीन और हज़रात, आपने हमारा ये डिस्कशन विद द एग्जीक्यूटिव बोर्ड ऑफ फ्रंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान मुलाहिज़ा फरमाया। उम्मीद है कि आपको इससे मालूमात भी मिली होंगी और होपफुली यू विल कंसिडर ज्वाइनिंग फ्रंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान। हमारे प्रोग्राम का वक्त अब ख़त्म हुआ, अपना ख्याल रखिएगा, खुदा हाफिज़।
Parents, show your love with Tahir Halal Kids multivitamin gummies, made in the USA and certified halal. Delicious and packed with essential vitamins, these gummies keep your little ones healthy, happy, and full of energy. No fuss, just fun, because good health should taste great. Tahir Halal. Love, nutrition, and care in every bite.
ताहिर प्रोडक्ट्स आपके खानदान की सेहत के लिए बेहतरीन हलाल विटामिन्स और सप्लीमेंट्स, खालिस, मियारी और फखर के साथ अमेरिका में तैयार करदा।
Kaba Fusion is a pharmacist-owned, patient-focused team of professionals with over 30 years' experience providing intravenous medication to patients in the comfort of their own home. Founded by Dr. Sohail Masood, Kaba Fusion has 7 state-of-the-art pharmacies located across the country. Visit us at kabafusion.com to learn more about the benefits of in-home infusion therapy.